Welcome to beautiful, historic Watson Stadium. Testing 1, 2. We have no sound on that broadcast. Hey, Ron, we have no sound on the video broadcast.
You sure that's a live check? What's this going into?
Yeah, we don't.
Now the audio cord.
No, the audio to the video that we're streaming. I'm
sure
on the box.
You sure you're on the right game and everything?
I'm on Hobbs Artesia tonight's date, and all I'm hearing is static.
Where else would this go? This is 3, so where is 3 to go?
3 and 3. Let's see if there's a 3 on there.
No.
Testing 1, 2. Oh. We have no sound on that. That was me. Okay, we're good.
Give us 30 seconds. 30 seconds.
30 seconds. Oh, we're starting intro. Okay.
Welcome everyone to Watson Stadium. Ty Fred and Coach Brian Coltrane tonight as the Hobbs Eagles finish up their regular season taking on the Artesia Bulldogs. And Coach, going to be a very important game for the Hobbs Eagles in this one.
Testing 1, 2. You got me wrong.
Test. Welcome live to Watson Stadium. Time for Hobbs Eagle football. The last game of the regular season here in the spring 2021. Ty Fred, Coach Brian Coltrane, and Coach of Hobbs Eagles tonight take on the Artesia Bulldogs. The final regular season game. Now there's big discussion about what's going to happen next week. Is there going to be a bowl game and how's that going to work? Really, both teams can care less at this point. They want to win this last game. Hobbs is looking for their first win, and Artesia wants to get 2 in a row after knocking out the two-time defending champion Roswell last week.
You know, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, and that's the biggest thing, Ty, is that you get in these situations, you start thinking about next week, you're not taking care of the week that you have. I don't think they're even looking forward to next week and figuring out what's going on.
National anthem going here at Stadium, so we will take a quick break and come back live on Cool 95.7 and on YouTube.
I'm not hearing you.
Can you hear me now, Ron? So you heard nothing before?
I heard it through my mic.
Okay, let's stop. Okay, we're on video. Stop. Welcome back to Watson Stadium. Ty Fred and Brian Coltrane. We had a little bit of technical difficulty before that, and we just had the national anthem here at Watson. Hobbs Eagles and Artesia Bulldogs final regular season game, and we were talking right before the break the fact that this game is very important to both teams, at least for some momentum heading into the whatever they call the postseason next week or the week after. We haven't really been told yet, and who's going to play who is a big question mark as well. So Artesia, though, coming back after a big win over Roswell last week, a big upset, in fact. That was a two-time defending 5A state champ that they knocked off up at Artesia, so that's a big win for them. Of course, the Eagles losing a close one to Carlsbad, 27-21, 0-3 record, but we've seen some improvement, especially in the passing game, where the Eagles got over 200 yards passing, which hadn't happened in the first and second games.
And you know, it was a big improvement, and the offense is starting to come along. Now you got to figure out how to win. And that's what the lesson is that the boys are going to have to learn, is how to find a way to win that game. And usually once you learn how to win, you start repeating it.
Last week, Colton Graham was 9 of 20 in the passing department for 221 yards. Unfortunately, though, 3 interceptions. Did get 2 touchdowns, but those INTs, not in very good parts of the game, especially when it's that close.
And those kind of mental mistakes, you know, you get rid of them. That's 3 extra possessions. You score on one of them, you're the winner.
Yeah, true. Rushing game, not really where it needed to be. 46 yards on the ground, and only one guy with, actually 2 with positive good yards. Corbin Thompson at 21, and Caden Trevino with 29. And good thing about Trevino and Thompson, they're both underclassmen, too, so they got some time left in those uniforms. In terms of the receivers, you know, of course, it's been kind of a grab bag of different players stepping up over the last couple of ball games, and one of those guys is Demetrius Frosto. He had a couple of catches for 23 yards in that game, but the big one was Trevino, 4 catches, 135 yards, and a 60-yard touchdown, too. He's definitely a speedster out there.
He's fun to watch. I mean, he's got all the zip that he needs to make big cuts and get big gains, and it's exciting. When he gets the ball, you don't know if he's going to, you know, get stopped or go for 60, and it's fun to watch. That's for sure, Ty.
Yeah, and I think the big difference, as we mentioned, was the turnovers in that contest, the 3 INTs, the fumble as well, that really caused the game to kind of turn, but still a close game, 27-21, and Carlsbad's known to have some big bruisers when it comes to the rushing game, but in this contest, in terms of the rush, they finished up with 197 yards, did Carlsbad. They had nobody even close to triple digits in the rushing numbers. They had a guy with 62, another one with 54. Passing game, he's not great, 8 catches for 99 yards, short of 100, so close to 300 yards of offense, which isn't too bad, but at the same time, Carlsbad's had some pretty good teams over the years with some lot bigger rushing numbers than that.
That's true, and you know, I talked to the Hobbs coaches before the game, and I sat down with them, and the biggest thing that they were happy with is the progress that defense is making, and now they're just waiting for that offense to come along. If the offense makes that same kind of jump and progression, then you're going to see a lot more points on the board, because the defense is going to give them the possessions.
We mentioned last week Artesia getting a big win, their first win of the season as they knocked off Roswell. Definitely a very important game for them, 43-28 in Artesia. Very close game in the early stages, 14-14 in the first quarter. Artesia outscores Roswell 21-6 by the second quarter, and we're up at halftime 35-20. The big difference in the game was Braxton McDonald, their wide receiver. He had 8 catches for 111 yards, 3 touchdowns, and he leads the team with touchdowns this season. He played last year against the Eagles as well, so we got to keep our eye on that kid. He's definitely a threat when it comes to the wide receiving core.
Well, I'm a big believer that if you get pressure on the quarterback, he's not going to have the time to find receivers. So I think the biggest thing that we need to do is figure out how to make the quarterback have to throw off his back heel or not have his timing down. You do that, and you're not going to see the receivers put up big numbers.
Last year, the Eagles lost to Artesia 62-28. Both quarterbacks are not on the teams anymore. Jaron Lewis, of course, moved on. Hotling graduated, so those guys aren't there. The no returners in the run game for the Hobbs Eagles, and all 3 seniors for Artesia were the top producers on their ground last year, so that kind of clears the deck. In terms of the receiving core, no returnees for the Hobbs Eagles. Sovereign Anthony had a big game last year, 13 catches for 210 yards. But receivers returning big for Artesia as usual. Braxton McDonald, 5 catches, 114. Jonte Rodriguez, 3 catches for 60. He's a slot back. Jacob Crate had a couple for 20. So lots of names that they're going to still have on the roster this year.
And you know, programs like Artesia, they just reload. And they've got the next set, running the same thing that they've been running all the way from elementary school and up. You know, even their elementary school teams are throwing the ball, so they're used to it. They just plug in the next one and go.
Now that you just said that, I put you on the spot there. Roswell only had 167 yards in passing against Roswell last week, but rushed for 259. A big change in strategy there that you normally see, and basically it was Jake Barrera, 22 carries, 180 yards, and 3 touchdowns. So that's another guy they're adding in their offensive threat in the backfield there, getting the ball.
That makes them hard to stop if you can do them both. You know, it's you don't know what you're going to do on any given down. You're just going to have to find a way to rear back and get after them.
Hobbs did have some great performances last week in terms of the defense, too. A couple guys getting 12 tackles. The cornerback, Mr. Strickland, definitely a very good cornerback for the Hobbs Eagles. Also getting 12 tackles, Aldo Argot. He's a first-year starter at linebacker, too, so definitely somebody you would like to continue to do the job here. Trey Jett had 10 tackles as well. Of course, coming out of the secondary for the Eagles, Blake Hensley also on the line. We've talked about him quite a bit. He had 10 tackles, and he had a sack as well. And Seth Blakely, too, on the defense with 10 tackles. So right there, you've got 5 players with double digits against Carlsbad.
Yeah. You know, both teams are out on the field ready to go here. And with that being said, you know, you just got to lace them up and play. And I think that's what we got to see here.
Hobbs Eagles wearing the black uniforms, white numbers, black pants, and Artesia with the white uniforms and orange pants and the black numbers as well. Hobbs will be kicking off in this one to get it going from the 40-yard line, and a couple back deep for the Artesia Bulldogs as the sun starts to set here. Not quite behind that other visiting stadium bleachers, but we'll get to that here in just a minute. As it gets kicked off low on the ground, gets past the first returner at the 30, and rolls out of bounds at the 25. Unfortunately, didn't touch it, so that means Artesia can elect to have it at the 35. It does round about the 26-yard line. If he would have touched that, Artesia would have a few yards deeper back, but it's not going to work to the Eagles' advantage on that one.
You know, he had an opportunity to make a play on it, and it's probably smart that he didn't because of the bounce that it took. If he'd have got any sort of paw on it, that would have ended up being a fumble and been an opportunity for the Eagles to respond.
Cord Cox, the quarterback this year, he's thrown for 657 yards, 7 touchdowns, and threw 4 interceptions. Has completed 61% of his passes. Did not play on the team last year. Twins left, 2 right side receivers, and Cox is waiting for the shotgun. And the umpire's waiting a little time there to get that ball set at the 35. Waiting for that long snap count. Eagles were showing some stun on the right side of the line, and we got flags flying now. The referees held off for just a second, but we do have some movement at least on one part of the line. Now I'm not sure which one they're going to call it on, though.
Looks like Artesia took a little bit of an early step on the snap there.
So that'll be the first penalty of the ball game. 5 yards to back it up to the 30-yard line, so that does help out. We got it moved up a little bit because nobody touched it on the original kickoff being a penalty going out of bounds, so now 5 back for Artesia.
Sure like to see that Hobbs was blitzing on the first play.
First down and 15 from the 30. Twins left and right. Shotgun to Cox. Give the delay handoff on the middle of the field. Just going straight ahead with the dive, getting out close to the 34-yard line. Very short gain on the play there for the Artesia Bulldogs. As coming up with it for them. Give us a second on some of these numbers. Double check that. Looked like 34, but I'm not showing that as being the number. Jake Barrera, excuse me. Looks like a 3-yard pickup for him. He's going to be one of their big backers in this game.
Yeah, Barrera's quick back, likes to find the holes.
That's actually a 4-yard pickup. Shotgun, Cox by himself. No drop on that one. Dumps it to the 40-yard line up the middle. 45 and drug down to the 47-yard line. And that's going to be a 12-yard pickup on the dump pass down the middle of the field on the connection for Artesia. And again, they know how to throw the football as that connects to Jonte Rodriguez.
And, you know, he just sits in there between the linebackers and waits for the ball to be delivered. He's looking left, looking right to see where they are, and he sits there. The thing that Hobbs has to do is not make sure they don't miss any tackles like they did on that play.
12-yard pickup, first down for the Bulldogs at their own 47-yard line. Twins left and right. Cox in the backfield once again for the shot. Takes the snap, handoff, delay up the middle, across the 50. Actually stopped short of the 50-yard line. The Eagles kind of wrap up and put him down low. Kenyon Singleton there first for the Eagles after about a 3-yard pickup.
And I tell you what, they tried to make a nice little move, and he paid for that. That was a nasty little hit that Singleton put on there.
So Barrera now with 2 carries for 7 yards. Point of the football just barely touching the 50-yard line. Brings up a 2nd down and 7 at midfield for the Bulldogs. Twins left and right once again. Cox is very patient in that backfield. Takes a 2-step drop. Dancing feet now. He's going to run up the middle himself. 50. Tries to get down and is buried at the 49-yard line. Gets about 1.5 yards, but the Eagles just completely annihilate him. About 3 black jerseys and on his legs the full time for Hobbs defense. Looks like Alvarado was the one that got in there first for the first tackle.
And Hobbs did a great job of reading that he wanted to run. Once he dropped that ball down, he took it from the throwing position. Hobbs linebackers reacted and came through the holes.
So the quarterback getting 3 on that one. Brings up a 3rd down and 4 for the Bulldogs now in Hobbs Eagle territory at the 47.5-yard line. Pair of receivers left and right, kind of keeping with that. Man in motion from left to right. And they're going to fake the handoff and go up the middle instead to the 30 on the left hash, 25, 20, 15, 10, and right out of bounds at the 10-yard line. So that's going to be a big pickup for a first down, but there's a flag back at the 37. It's coming all the way back, it looks like.
Not sure who it was against. It was actually in the Hobbs secondary.
They go receiver downfield, so that will be a penalty against Artesia, second penalty in the ball game.
And that was one where we reacted to the play fake in the backfield. And
so a 5-yard penalty. They had the microphones on tonight, caught us by surprise, the officials on the field, so you'll hear that in the background there. So I'll back it up to the 48-yard line and make it about third down and looks like 9 from the 48.
Big play here, try to get this possession ended on the first group.
Bulldogs have 2 penalties for 10 yards. They'll send those 2 receivers both sides, left and right. Cox will be in the backfield with Barrera on his left shoulder. Takes the snap high, 1-step drop back at the 40, dancing around, looking for help. Nobody's getting open, rolls left to the left hash, now back to the middle, across the 45, up the middle of the 50, right hash, Hobbs territory, 45, gets the first down, drags away from a few more to the 35. That's all him on that one. He had about 3 Eagles on his back, and he continued to push forward.
Can't miss tackles. We had about 4 different Eagles that had a chance to put a hit on him. Nobody was able to bring him down. Quarterback makes a play and gets a first down.
14 yards on the carry for Cox. Second first down for the orange and white. They'll have it at the Eagle 36. And again, wrap-ups are very important in this game. Artesia is the type of team that will take any mistake that you make and make you pay for it.
Yeah, that's true. Very fundamentally sound. They know what they're doing. They know their system well.
9 minutes left first quarter, still scoreless. Twins left and right. Cox on the shotgun, give that hand off to Brewer. He's going to head outside left. Tries to get up to the 35, but he's going to be met down about 2-yard loss on the play. The Eagles swiping pretty quick on that one, and getting his ankles was Blake Hensley.
Hensley did an amazing job of reaching out. All he was able to do was kind of paw at his ankle, but he held on long enough to make the tackle.
-2 on that one, so only 5 yards on 3 carries for Barrera, getting the short stuff at this point. Come back up to the line of scrimmage on a second down and 11 now from the 36. Artesia in the Eagle territory. Split those receivers 2 and 2. Cox taking a look both left and right of the line. Give that fake handoff to Herrera. He's going to roll right. He wants to throw from the right hash. Gets it on the out route, but it gets bobbled by the receiver. A late flag in the backfield. That's not where you want to see a flag come in. It could be a roughing the passer. Pass was intended and should have been caught by Jacob Creighton, but dropped at the first down marker.
Yeah, and it looked like Aaron Benavidez may be the one that it's against here. We're hoping that it's a hold, but if it is a late hit on the quarterback, Benavidez was the one that got there.
They did get the hold penalty, luckily, for the Eagles. So that's 3 penalties against Artesia for 20 yards total. And that'll back them up 10 yards. And that should have been a first down because that catch should have been made over there about the 26-yard line. The receiver looked at it for a second, and I didn't think a Hobbs Eagle defender got a piece of that one, but was playing some tough defense on that far sideline in front of the Artesia bench. And might have been kind of a ringing in his helmet there, just making sure that he knew that they had a guy on his back. Keep looking down at the Eagles' defense, thinking there's a flag on the field, but it's a pair of shoes being worn in gold color. Trying to see who that is wearing those. We'll check it here in a minute. Second down and 21 now from the 46-yard line. A handoff up the middle of the 40, heading to the left hash, breaking a tackle, 39 to the 36 and out of bounds.
Nice little draw play there. It was a design draw where it was a delay before he hands it off. Try to track out the linebackers and the defensive backs away from the line and then get out on them with the offensive line combo blocks.
That's 10 yards for Barrera. He's the only guy besides Cox that have carried the football here in this first quarter. It's going to be a third down and looks like close to 10 now from the 36-yard line. Still 0-0 with 8:01 left first quarter. Twins left and right. Cox waiting for that shotgun snap on the left hash. 2-step drop. Peter dancing around, throws a quick out route, but over the head of Barrera on the 35. That would have been a short play. He might have got some acceleration after he caught that towards the far sideline, but well overthrows his head there, and it goes on the turf, incomplete. So that'll be 1 of 2 in the passing game for the Bulldogs.
And that was created by Isaiah Montes. He was kind of blitzing off the edge and from the quarterback position, and right before he got there, quarterback sensed it and had to push the throw too soon. Incomplete pass caused by pressure.
Now, last week against Roswell, Artesia went through a couple of fourth-down conversions in that ball game and eventually scored on one of their drives, so they're not scared to do that stuff, fake punts, etc. Coach Henderson will take as many tricks out of his sleeve as he can get. Definitely not have to worry about a fake here because they're into Hobbs Eagle territory, but there's going to be a discussion about it as there is a timeout on the field as Artesia wants to discuss this offense with a 4th and 10 at the Hobbs Eagle 36. We'll take a 60-second break. It's Hobbs and Artesia scoreless at Watson Stadium. Come back with us on Cool 95.7, the Cool 95.7 app, and on YouTube.
Yes, sir.
Back here at Watson Stadium, right on time. Artesia after their timeout, 4th and 10 from the Eagle 36 from the left hash. Shotgun to Cox. Another flag is flying. They had a long discussion during the timeout with both coaches on both sidelines. I'm not sure what that was all about. I know Coach Henderson was out on the field right when the timeout started, getting a little bit heated with the officials, and then the ref also went over to the sideline of the Eagles. Defensive offsides, and that makes it a little bit easier of a 4th-down conversion here at the 4th and 5, Coach.
Yeah, it does. You know, we don't want to give them anything for sure. You know, they're good enough without our help.
Moving up to the 31-yard line, a 4th and 5 for Artesia on the left hash. They'll send 3 receivers to the right side, 2 to the left, and nobody else but the quarterback in the backfield, Cox. So they move Barrera up on the line as a receiver. Back to pass, 3-step drop at the 40, dancing around. He's going to throw it deep into the left corner of the end zone, over the shoulder, but it goes past the intended receiver, incomplete. He was a little bit open, but a long pass from Trent Norton, incomplete, and that'll be a turnover on downs.
They ended up nearly half the quarter, but came away with nothing. That great stop there by the Hobbs defense. Now it's time for the offense to put something on the board.
Looks like we're having some noise difficulty on our online broadcast, Ed. We'll try to see if we can get that fixed here as quickly as we can. Bear with us on that. We are still coming live on the radio at hobbsamerica.com as well. Go to a shotgun for the Eagles. First offensive possession. Waiting for that snap and a long delay. We got a man in motion for the Eagles. They're going to hand it off around the left end. That is to Demetrius Frosto, and he's behind the line of scrimmage. He's going to lose about 2 yards on the play. Not the way you want to start.
Normally, you want to get north-south like Frosto tried to do there, and he's very good at doing that. This is the one time I wish he'd have bounced it because they had a nice block on the outside, and he could have probably ran a long way.
It'll be at the 30-yard line. They only give him a 1-yard loss on the play. 2nd down and 11 now for the Eagles. Hobbs gets 3 receivers right, 2 to the left side. Waiting for shotgun is Graham. 2-step drop back at the 25. Throws a little curl route, caught at the 37 and dragging to the 40. Should be a 1st down, or actually no, about a yard short. So that's going to be maybe a 7-yard pickup for the Eagles on that far sideline.
What I really liked there was how calm he was at changing the reads. Right before the snap, Artesia changed defenses. They went from what looked like it was going to be man-to-man press and then dropped into cover 3. He read it and delivered the ball well.
First catch for Hedrick. That's a 9-yard pickup. 3rd down and 1 now from the 40-yard line. Trips right, 2 receivers left. A quarterback keeper up the gut. He's going to be close, but there's a big wall of Artesia to push him back. He's going to be close on this. Maybe forward progress got him across the 40. He had to get to the 41. And that's going to be enough for the first, it looks like. They're going to move the chains on that one. So it will be about a 1.5 yard gain for Graham. First down for the Eagles.
Did a good job right there, just getting up and getting the first down. Wasn't much more there to be had, but he got what he could.
1st and 10 from the 42. Still scoreless here in the first quarter with 6:19 remaining. Shotgun. Graham with the comeback route to the 40. Connects, but it's behind the line of scrimmage. A nice defensive play by the Bulldogs to get out there. Hedrick makes his second catch, but not much gain on that. Tried a minus instead, as he was read perfectly on defense out there at the cornerback position for the Bulldogs. That was Jonathan Beatty to wrap him up.
Yeah, you got to hold your blocks on the outside. If you're going to run bubble screens, your receivers have got to block.
So -2 on that one. 2 catches for Hedrick. Eagles for 7 yards in the air. Be second down and 12. Delay handoff around the left end, dragging Isaiah Lecon, trying to get across that line of scrimmage and takes it to the far sideline. He's going to pick up about 4, just shy of that 45-yard line. Ooh, they're going to move it back even more. So he's going to get just 2 yards on the play. I guess his knee went down first.
Yeah, he did a good job of hitting the initial hole well. When you got to the second level and had to bounce, there was just too many Artesia Bulldogs.
3rd down and 9. Eagles at the 43-yard line. A critical call. The Eagles looking at the sideline now to get the calls. They check their wristbands for the play. They'll send 2 receivers right and 1 to the left side. Lee Cohn will be back with his quarterback here, Colton Graham. Shotgun, 4-step drop, back to the 35, sells it down the middle on the seam route, overthrows his receiver, Frosto on the right hash, over his head at the 35 of the Bulldogs, and that will be incomplete. And that's going to put the Eagles more than likely in a punt situation.
And that was a ball, if you delivered it on time, there was nothing between him and the end zone. He had that seam, and unfortunately just couldn't get the ball into his hands.
So it could be the first punt of the ball game. We'll see if that's going to transpire. Frosto gets back in punt formation and brings in some extra subs to help out here. Of course, Artesia lost it on downs in their first possession. And Eagles apparently going to be punting this one away. Both teams' final regular season game. We'll wait to see what the, quote, playoffs will be like either next week or the following week. A lot of teams haven't even started their 3rd or 4th game yet, so everybody's not in the same situation. Frost will get rid of it from the 35. Little short squib kick. Bounces at the 30 of Artesia. Takes a Hobbs Eagle roll. Then they think they have an Artesia kid. Might have touched its foot, but no, the referee didn't bite on that one. As I believe they're going to go ahead and give it to Artesia. Yes, the man on the referee on the spot there goes ahead and does make the signal, but yeah, it came very close to a foot of one of the Artesia Bulldogs on the return team. Now they're having a meeting of the referees.
And I saw what you saw. It hit him in the leg, bounced away. They're now seeing Hobbs football.
I guarantee you Coach Henderson's going to be out there because the one official pointed Artesia ball. He was the closest guy, but he might not have seen what happened from behind the play there. So it'll be Hobbs football. That will be a turnover on a fumble for Artesia.
And he threw his baggie as if it was a fumble. I thought he was marking it, and then he signaled differently. So
Hobbs will have it at the 23 of the Bulldogs as they have a 0-0 game, but they're trying to put this in the end zone to get the scoreboard going.
Turnovers are gifts, and you want to make sure your Christmas gifts pay off.
Eagles will send 2 receivers right, 3 to the left side, bring a man in motion, take the handoff right, give it to the left around the left end, and diving straight ahead for the Eagles, and moving it out to the 20-yard line. Then we'll see that number down there. They had somebody else just check in right before that play started, and that was for the Eagles on the carry, Corbin Thompson, as Thompson will get 3 yards on the carry.
I love the misdirection. You had 2 fakes before you decided to take it through the hole. I think misdirections are our way to get extra yards right now.
2nd down and 7 now from the 20 into Artesia's side of the field here. Eagles will send 2 receivers both sides, ready for the shotgun. Thompson is behind Colton Graham. They fake the handoffs. Graham's going to take an angle left to the hash, 20, and diving ahead to the 15-yard line. Another 5-yard pickup for the quarterback. He's got 2 carries for 6 yards total.
I think that was actually a busted play. I think he was supposed to hand off going the opposite way, Thompson. I think Thompson lined up on the wrong side of him, and then he just hit the hole that Thompson was supposed to go through.
Eagles knocking at the door. They need 3 yards for a first down. Would have to get to about the 12-yard line, make it the 13 on the left hash. Trips right, receiver left. Graham back at the shotgun at the 20. Low snap, 2-step drop. He's going to fade it over to the far left corner of the end zone, but overthrows his intended receiver. Trying to get out there was Caleb Hedrick. You might have thought there might have been a holdout there, Coach.
Yeah, I think the defensive back grabbed his jersey just before the ball was thrown in the air. Should have been a defensive hold.
They're really throwing a lot of passes to Hedrick's side of the field in this game so far here in the first quarter.
Yeah, Hedrick's a big, heady receiver. You can get the ball up for him. He has a big advantage over the little defensive back.
3:32 left here in the first quarter. Still scoreless, 0-0. Clock stopped with the incomplete pass. at the 15-yard line. 4th down and 2 for the Eagles. Twins left, trips right. Fake the handoff on the motion. I haven't seen that before. They didn't even get the snap, and he came around from left to right as Caden Trevino acted like he caught a little flip from Colton Graham, but he continued on his motion. I'm not even sure. I've never seen that before.
It was a hard count. It was an intentional hard count, and they were trying to act like the football came just to see if somebody didn't catch.
But technically, though, if you move your hands forward, he didn't really do it forward. But if you move your hands forward, that's illegal.
Quarterback didn't move his hands forward.
The slot back coming in motion. His hands have been towards the defense. He could have been called for
absolutely
for motion there. But they didn't do that. He's kind of more of a side angle, so I didn't call it. Timeout on the field. 3:32 left, first quarter. 0-0. Come back with Hobbs Eagle football on Cool and on HobbsAmerica.com. Don't forget about YouTube. We need to get that checked.
30, please.
Because, hey, Ron, we need to have somebody monitor the online because they're telling me that the audio is not working. Is Evie monitoring tonight or somebody? It's urgent. Welcome back to Watson Stadium after the timeout. The Eagles got the pass play, do an out route with a 7-yard pickup in the first down to Caleb Hedrick. He is the man of the hour so far. That's 3 catches for 14 yards. Eagles are now 3 of 5 for 14 yards, all coming to Hedrick.
And the nice thing is we're knocking on the door right now. Let's see if we can open it and go ahead and punch in for the first score of the game.
That is the second first down. The Eagles will have it now at the 9-yard line of the Bulldogs. They can't get any more first downs. A man in motion from left to right. They'll keep it off to the right side and heading to the near side. 10-5 into the end zone for the touchdown. Tiptoeing through. Caden Trevino, a 9-yard run. He came from the right, got the handoff, and came around the right end. They faked that a couple of plays back, but this time he does get the football and puts it in the end zone.
And I can't say any more, but that play was solely on the shoulders of Easton Kirkendall, who was blocking on the outside, and he drove the defensive back to the turf and got a nice little pancake on that play as well.
So the Hobbs Eagles get the first score of the ball game against the Bulldogs as we await the PAT from Demetrius Fausto. Well, actually, Fausto is going to hold for the Eagles, and kicking will be Ethan Van Landingham. Good snap, kick is up, and it is good. So Hobbs on the scoreboard first. They lead 7-0 with 3:08 left, first quarter. We'll be back live with more Hobbs Eagle football in 60 seconds. Can you get that checked? Because it's urgent, man. Okay. Staticky or not? We can't hear us at all. Back at Watson Stadium, Ty friend Coach Brian Coltrane with you. The Eagles lead 7-0 over Artesia with 3:08 left here in the first quarter. Hobbs scoring on a 9-yard run for Trevino. And the PAT from Van Landingham. And the kickoff now for the Eagles. It'll be sent down to the 20 on the row on the right hash, picked up. They try to start the starburst, but it doesn't work. It's going to be Barrera getting upended by the Eagles on a beautiful sweep through play. He took out his hips and his legs the whole bit.
Good job there by Manny Valdivia. He did a nice little sweeping tackle, got him off his feet.
So that will give Artesia the football at the 24. They had a problem with the punt return a few minutes ago, and that's why the Eagles got the ball back and able to put it in the end zone eventually. And now kind of a delay mess up there on their starburst. They'll have it at 1st and 10 from their 24 for their second series of the game. They trail Hobbs 7-0.
Confidence is a big thing right now.
Cox underneath the center instead of the shotgun. Two-step drop back of the 20. Throws the out route into the turf. Trying to get out to the far sideline to Jacob Creighton, but it's incomplete. The timing is just not there for the Bulldogs in the passing game.
And, pressure is a big thing. Blake Hensley was driving the the offensive tackle all the way back to the quarterback, and at the end just tore his helmet off as well. So player had to come off the field, but that pressure from Hensley is big.
2nd down and 10 now from the 24-yard line. Hobbs up 7-0 here in the first quarter. Clock is down to 2:59. Twins left and right for the Bulldogs. Cox taking his time, gets a high snap, give it off at the draw up the middle of the 25, heading right. Bouncing around as Barrera gets taken back a few yards. They probably give him forward progress. I'm not sure how much of that he'll get.
Donis Bryan did a great job on the tackle there. That's an open field tackle, and you got to make those, but it's not as easy as it looks.
So it looks like just a yard pickup after all that lateral running for Barrera. He's the only guy besides Cox that has carried so far. 5 carries for 16 yards. 3rd down and 9 for the Bulldogs at their own 25. Twins left and right of the receiving core. Cox will be in back with Barrera ready for the shotgun. Fake the handoff, roll left. Cox wants to throw, passes the left hash to the near sideline. Still on his feet. He's going to fire down the middle. A spiral. It's up for grabs. And hit it out of the hands of the receiver on the near sideline. He was floating from the right to left, but it bounces off of Jacob Creighton. That's his 2nd drop. He's slapping his helmet. He thinks he should have had that one too.
He probably should have. And honestly, it should have been an interception. Both Hobbs players had a better angle on it, and at the last second, just seemed to misread the ball and end up right in the hands of the receiver, who couldn't come down with it.
Yeah, one of those defenders was Presley Greeno back there. Definitely wishing he could have that one back. Hobbs will go back for the punt return, and back there deep will be Adonis Bryant. He's a pretty dangerous return man for the Eagles.
Something that scares me right now is there's two receivers lined up on the outside for punt formation. We only have one guy covering.
Yeah, that's definitely, he would easily be able to do a slant and get that 1st down on a pass play. Deep punt snap back at the 12. He'll run up a few and then kick it. Goes down the middle of the field. And a running on the move catch at the 45, 50, Bryant to the 45, 40, 35, and drug out of bounds at the 35. So Bryant picked it up around the 42-yard line. A late hit might be tacked onto this as well. So we'll have to wait and see if that is against Artesia. And that's about a 27-yard return for Bryant. He is definitely a very go-to type of guy on these special teams.
And that was as scary as it gets when he comes up on that ball, and he was surrounded by Bulldogs and still decided to make the catch and run with it. He made a play out of it. If I was a coach, I'd keep my mouth shut, but certainly not a habit that I want him forming.
Somebody took his jersey and threw him to the sideline. That wasn't the bad hit there, but I think something happened after the team kind of got shoved towards the sideline. More than one group was out there, and we'll see if that was the problem. Personal foul against the Bulldogs.
And I tell you what, Kirkendall was really, really heated after that play. I think he may have been the one that got hit late.
I think that's going to be half the distance, and they move it back to the 16-yard line. So that's going to be about a 14-yard penalty when it's all said and done for the Bulldogs. They've had 3 penalties now for 34 yards. And that'll bring up a 1st down, 2nd down, or 2 minutes, 11 seconds left in the first quarter. Hobbs up 7-0.
And this to me is a big possession. If we go up 2, it's going to be really good.
High snap for Graham. Going to hand it off to the middle, to the 15, 10, 5, and it ends up for the touchdown. That's Mr. Lee Cohn with the carry that time. Isaiah Lee Cohn from the 17 into the end zone, right side, and scores.
And that hole was so big you could drive a Mack truck through it. LeCone, he needs to thank his line on that one. They gave him every opportunity to make that play.
That's his 2nd carry, 19 total with a 17-yard run for the score. And Eagles up now 13-0. They want their first win of the season, Coach.
And that's the thing, they've been steadily improving all season long. Every game we see them get better and better and better. Maybe it's finally coming together.
As we wait the PAT, good snap, put down by Frosto. The kick is up, and it's good for Van Landingham. So the Hobbs Eagles with 2 first-quarter scores. They lead 13-0 over the Bulldogs. 2:05 left first quarter. Come back with us in 60 seconds on the Hobbs Eagle Network.
60, please. Welcome back to Watson Stadium. Starburst on the kickoff from Artesia, but it's going to be quickly funneled and stopped as the Hobbs defense wraps them up. And on the tackle there, it looks like number 2 Valdivia got there, as well as number 35. That's Corbin Thompson.
I'll tell you what, Coach, Barrera, who's another return man again there, has been returning most of their kickoffs, and he's going to be kind of bruised up by the time this game is done. He's taking some wicked hits on these, and they're trying to do the starburst. That's the second time it kind of got into a mess there. It really didn't get going the way they wanted it.
The way we're kicking off, we're not giving them a whole lot of time.
Another Artesia penalty. Boy, they are racking them up. I think that was a block in the back, I believe. That is their 4th penalty right now for 44 yards, and there's only been one against the Eagles for 5.
And you know, they look completely discombobulated out there. They're almost, I think, in shock, and they're not playing smart football.
So Eagles up 14-0 with 1:56 left here in the first quarter. Artesia with 2 receivers right and left. They have it at their 10-yard line. Shotgun high to Cox with the draw play, and heading right to the 15, 20, dragging some people with them. It will be a first down, about a 11-yard pickup, and it's on the right hash. Big pile up on top of him.
We have a little bit of laundry on the field resting about the 18. Let's see what this is.
There's another one. Boy, Artesia has not learned their lesson if this is definitely against them.
And, we made a mistake on the rush. We started getting upfield. And draw plays are going to eat us for lunch if we get too far up the field.
That would have been an 11-yard pickup. That's Jake Barrera, but the officials having a 3-referee jamboree going on right now about the 20-yard line, kind of sorting this one out.
Probably figuring out where they're going to get dinner from.
Wait to see what we got here.
Block in the back. Defense.
Block in the back on the defense. Not sure, never heard of that before. You could call that, I guess, but I've never heard that called before. Maybe legal use of the hands or something.
Yeah, a hit in the back.
But why are they tacking on 10 to a 12-yard pickup, though? You get the yards plus the extras? You don't get both.
Well, they created a penalty in the first place, so.
Whoa,
you might as well create new rules for that penalty.
That's Barrera, 12 yards. I'm not sure why they would add 10 extra onto that. You either take the penalty or take the what happened, but it wasn't after the play. I don't know about that one. I'll have to look that up. Back to pass. Cox will throw the quick curl to the 35. Breaking a tackle. Did he get the knee down? Nope. The official says you can't go any further. Broke away. Now the Artesia fans are livid over there. They think it was an early whistle.
And we let go once we heard the whistle, which is why he broke free. I don't think the fans realized that that's why we stopped, because at that point we were going to pile drive him, and I think the referees did that for his safety.
Braxton McDonald makes a catch, and kind of surprisingly, that's his first catch of the ball game. He's their leading receiver for 3 yards on that one. And Artesia is now just 2 of 5 in the passing game for 15 yards total.
We got to keep the pressure on him here. Let's see if we blitz.
He had 3 touchdowns last week against Roswell in their victory over the 2-time defending 5A champs. 1:15 left here in the first quarter. 2nd down and 8. Cox going to hand it off up the middle of the draw across the 40. Right hash breaking away. Barrera to the 47. He will get the first down. Make it 9 yards for Barrera. Again, it's Cox and Barrera with all the rushes so far in this game. He's got now 37 yards on 7 carries.
And that was not like the draw play before. That was actually just kind of a design mesh play where the quarterback was making the read. We unfortunately let the offensive linemen get into our linebackers, and then we weren't able to make the stop.
3rd first down for the Bulldogs now at their own 43-yard line. Clock to 52 seconds left here in the first. 14-0 Hobbs. Twins left and right for the Bulldogs. Waiting for the shotgun is Cox. Long snap count. Takes a good one. 1-step drop, and another flag coming out. False start. You had it up here silently signaling, but they weren't looking at you quick enough, Coach.
Yeah, and it was a very delayed call by them, because I saw the offensive tackle on the left side reset himself and move, and there was a good 5 seconds before they called it.
5 penalties now for 50 yards against the Bulldogs, and a total of 2 for 15 against the Eagles. That'll back it up to the 38-yard line. 1st down and 15 now for Artesia.
And the frustration has to be mounting on the Bulldogs side when you have penalties like that.
2 receivers left and right. They lost their last 3 games up until last week of the season. They were 0-4 last year in district. Another draw play. Jumping outside is Barrera. Bouncing around to the 38. Gets back to the line of scrimmage. Might have fell forward for a forward progress. 1 yard on that play. So Hobbs Eagles close it down on the outside. They know that kid wants to break out, and they're starting to get the good angles out there to put a stop to him. And it looked like first man on the spot there for the Eagle defense to try to make sure he didn't get outside.
Singleton, 42.
Yep,
yeah,
exactly.
He was the first one that got there. and he wasn't able to completely wrap him up, but he did enough where everybody else was able to jump on the pile.
Second down for Artesia, and they've got about 14 to go. They're at their own 39-yard line. Clock to 5 seconds. Should be the last play of the first quarter. Two-step drop for Cox. Pump fake. Fade route to the far sideline. Over the shoulder, and it gets through the receiver at the 20. He had double coverage out there. The Eagles played him pretty tight. And a couple of defenders back deep for Hobbs. And that included Hunter Wright and Braden Strickland. And the receiver that got kind of between them for just a split second may have got a hand on a football, too, is Braxton McDonald. But he hasn't had a lot of catches so far in this game. That will end the first quarter.
Yeah, I have – it looks like the first quarter is over, so, yep.
Give us the score, Coach.
It's 14-0.
Don't my cues work? Eagles
I was thinking strategy. I was thinking strategy.
Come back in second quarter. We'll be right back with you. Back here at Watson Stadium, Ty friend Brian Coltrane with you, the coach, as we're at Watson for the big final regular season game, Eagles and the Bulldogs. Hobbs up 14-0 as we start the second quarter, as Artesia's got a third down and 14 from their own 38, make it the 39-yard line. Eagles have 3 in the front box. Shotgun for Cox with the Twins right left. The blitz is on. He's getting chased hard. Rolls left. Throws it the last second. Caught at the 45 in the out route. Barrera coming up the left hash. He gets across the line of scrimmage, and a few more than that. That's going to be about an 8-yard pickup, but they just basically unloaded the football because Eagles had a big blitz coming on full bore against the quarterback.
And I'm not sure when he threw that football, but he actually knew that Barrera was there. I think Barrera just kind of ended up showing up when the ball was coming down.
Artesia 3 of 7 in the passing game. That was an 8-yard pickup, 23 total yards in the air for Artesia. Fourth down situation for them. They started to run up to the line of scrimmage, and Coach Henderson told them to get back in the huddle as he's going to change the play call here. They need to get 7 yards. So a big play here. 4th and 7. Looks like they're going for it at the 47-yard line in their side of the field. Twins left and right. They'll bring a third receiver to the right side. That is Barrera as he gets lined up. Shotgun for Cox by himself. One-step drop at the 40. Sails it down the middle on the seam right over the shoulder, and the Eagles break up at the 25. The back judge calls a penalty. It looked like simultaneous action, a collision. Braxton McDonald, the receiver, and for the Eagles, the deep secondary getting in there. It looked like it was timed right, but they called the PI, I believe.
And number 16 was the Eagle that got there. I don't have him on my roster, but he got there right when the ball got there. It was pretty close.
15-yard penalty for the Eagles. That's just their third penalty for 30 yards, and the Hobbs Eagle fans are not happy. They're booing at this point. You can hear it in the background here at Watson. A lot more penalties have been called against Artesia. They've had a total of 6 so far for 40 or 50 yards. The Eagles 3 for 30. That's going to move it up to the 38-yard line. That will be a first down as well for Artesia, their 4th. They'll get ready to move up to the left hash. Eagles get their defense up quickly as Artesia broke their huddle. Twins left and right for Cox, the quarterback. One-step drop, fires it down the middle, and the slant caught the 30 to the left hash, and that'll be a 10-yard pickup, another first down, so they're starting to pick away at the Eagles' defense here, and that's going to move the chains once again as Cox is starting to get his arm going, and this time he connects with McDonald's.
Got a first quarter score coming in. Tatum 20, Logan nothing. That's the end of the first.
McDonald 2 catches for 13 yards, and Artesia is 4 of 8 in the passing game for 33. 5th first down in the contest at the 27-yard line of the Eagles. Twins left and right again. And now they're going to have a penalty marker as a defensive offsides. Somebody, well, actually, no, it's going to be against the Bulldog. Nope, it is against the Eagles. Got it right the first time. Encroachment against the black and white.
I wonder if that was an intentional play to try to draw us off outside because he was actually under center instead of in the gun.
4 penalties now for a total of 35 yards. A 1st and 5 now for Artesia at the Eagle 21. Again, Hobbs up 14-0 with 10:27 left here in the second. Pair of receivers left and right. Go with the draw up the middle, 20, 15, and that's about as far as he gets, but he gets a first down. 6-yard pickup for Barrera.
And here in the second quarter, they've been gashing us. I mean, it's those run plays, there's holes there. Once he gets to the second level, if we don't make our tackles, he's going to get a big run off here soon.
45-yard pickup, or 45 yards total for Barrera on 9 carries. So that's going to be a first down. They're 6 of the ball game. Have it at the Eagles 14. They can get another one at the 5. Shotgun to Cox. Fakes the handoff. Rolls left. Had pressure. Got away. Tucks it and goes to the left hash and continues outside and gets swung down at the 13-yard line. About a yard or two pickup on that far side as the Eagles got kind of confused on that one for a second. But finally getting out there for the Eagles was Trey Jett. Just put a stop on
it. And, that's a missed tackle on the sack, too. And missed tackles, you give up yards, and at that point, it would have been a negative 7-yard sack is now a 1-yard gain.
Cox 3 carries for 18 yards. The quarterback, 2nd down and 9 from the 13-yard line. Pair of receivers left and right. Another shotgun situation. Delay handoff, cutting right to left now is Barrera, slicing his way down to the left hash. Not really overpowering runner on that one. He just kind of sleeking his way through that linebacking core there, and able to get about 5 on the carry.
And, it didn't have a whole lot of holes or any place to go. He just kind of had to lower his shoulders and go with the flow. Hobbs' defense actually did a good job on that play.
Again, last week, 180 yards on the ground against Roswell, including 3 touchdowns. Nowhere near those numbers tonight. 3rd down and 3 from the 7-yard line. Shotgun to Cox. Turns and fires on the out route. Caught at the 5 and dropped out at the 3-yard line. And that's going to be another 6-yard pickup on that far sideline as they connect over to Corbin Farrar.
And that's just what they needed to get a first down. Now they have 4 downs to try to get in the end zone.
So Farrar was 7 on the catch, and the 7th first down, Farrar for 7, that's going to make it now 40 yards and receptions on 5 catches so far.
How big would a turnover be right now?
Definitely a big one. I know Brandon Strickland seems to be the one that likes to pick him off down here. It happened last game. I believe 2 games in a row he's had some very big interceptions against the passing games. Single setback, receiver left and right, man in motion. Delay handoff. Here comes Brer at the stutter stop. Then he ties his spin and is put down at the 3-yard line. No gain on the play. Eagles sniffing that one out very hard. And I think he kind of delayed for just a second, which gave plenty of time for the Hobbs Eagles into the line, Blake Hensley, to step up big.
Yeah, Hensley made the initial hit, and after that point, it was just a bunch of black jerseys swarming around him.
So Barrera getting 0 on that one, stuck at the 3-yard line. Clock down to 8:18 and ticking here in the second quarter. Hobbs still holding on to the 14-0 lead after they scored 2 in the first quarter, a 9-yard run for Trevino and a 17-yard run for Licone. 2nd down and goal now from about the 3, make it the 2.5. Single setback, receiver left and right, underneath the center. Cox wants it. He's trying to get over the pile, but he's met in the backfield. And boy, he got a fireman carry takedown for the Eagle defense, coming in strong with the bear hug. Aldo Argot, the linebacker.
I don't think he was ready for the ball. He turned his head like he was looking over the line, and all of a sudden the ball was in his hands, and he just almost reacted like he was surprised it was there.
And no spring on his legs, Cox. He just kind of stood straight up instead of getting kind of a crouch and firing off. So 3rd and goal now from the 2. Cox again underneath the center. He wants to take it again, fake the pass, and put his head down. Getting close to the goal line. They're going to say he did break the play. Touchdown. Looks like one of the offensive linemen for Artesia got hit in the gut, and he's hunched over right now. Hobbs tried to get down low that time and putting a body on Cox, but unable to push him back far enough was Juan Gonzalez. So that'll be a 2-yard gain for a touchdown for Cox, his first score of the game. Gets the first points on the board for Artesia. They're trying to get their 2nd win of the season. Hobbs working on their 1st. Eagles still at the lead as we wait the PAT. Kick is up, and the kick is good. So converting it are the Bulldogs. It's now 14-7. Hobbs leads by the 7 with 7:27 left, second quarter. We're coming back in 60 seconds on Cool 95.7 and HobbsAmerica.com.
Welcome back to Watson Stadium, 14-7. Your Hobbs Eagles lead as Artesia kicks off. It's going to be taken at about the 6th, and Starburst here. I'm not even sure who came out with
That's
it.
Brian. Honest, Brian gets tornadoed around towards the 20 as he headed out to the far right side. And, of course, Artesia was the one that kind of started off that starburst, or at least around the south part of the state a few years back. And then the Eagles kind of put it into their bag of tricks. And Brian is usually a very good punt returner, but they use him big on that one. Not getting a lot of yards, but does get back to the 24.
Hobbs has a decent field position to start with here. I think they really need to come down and score here and put it back in Artesia's mind that we're going to try to dominate them.
1st and 10 from the 24-yard line. Hobbs will put a receiver left and 2 to the right side. And a split formation backfield, 3 there, including quarterback Colton Graham. He's going to give the handoff left to right, and here's a pass to 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, into Artesia territory, 30, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown. I believe that's Caleb Hendrick. They gave him the football in the backfield, started at the 25, so a 75-yard touchdown run unofficially for Hendrick.
And that was a nice run there. Beautiful, beautiful job. You couldn't ask for a better play.
You said they needed something to kind of jumpstart that adrenaline again after leading 14-0, and that looked like it did it.
Yeah, it did. I mean, you want to – it actually was Caden Trevino, 14.
I think it was 11. That's what I saw, but they had – let's see if they're both in there.
I was watching them as they were coming out of the pile there. It was Trevino that got the run.
Okay, so 14 and 11 look pretty close out in the field. One of us must be wrong. We'll see who that is there in a minute. We double check. But let's wait for the PAT. Van Landingham, definitely that is him as he kicks it up through the left upright. Count it. And the Hobbs Eagles have extended their lead back to 14. They lead 21-7 with 7:02 left, second quarter. Back here at Watson Stadium in 60 seconds. Yep, that's him. Back here at Watson Stadium, the Hobbs Eagles scoring off a 75-yard touchdown run for Caden Trevino. And an onside kick's going to roll hard. He hits a couple of Bulldogs, picked up at the 30, near sideline, 35, 40, backpedaling, 45, and back to the 50. Wow, 25-yard return. And that was all piston action there on the legs. As boy, he took down about 2 more Hobbs Eagles at the last second, finally putting him to the turf. Kenyon Singleton and Aldo Argot. But giving some great field position now for Artesia. They're going to mark it at the 49.
I think for all intents and purposes, they were not trying to kick it to him.
Yeah, it kind of went through the air for a little bit. It was a very low kick, hit the ground, and went through about two hands, different players, and then finally he picked it up. 1st and 10 now for the Bulldogs at their own 49. Eagles lead 21-7. Twins left and right, shotgun to Cox back at the 42. Fires the quick back on the out route, and taking a spin is McDonald. Short route, about 3 yards, make it 4, as he's brought down by Adonis Bryant.
And Adonis Bryant did a great job making an open field tackle. It was one-on-one there, and he started giving them the shoulder shake, and Bryant had none of it.
Coach, why did you just give me a shoulder shake up here? You're not on camera right now. I almost took my head off there. McDonald, 3 catches for 17 yards. Artesia now 6 of 10 in the passing game. 2nd down and 6, shotgun. Cox will stay in the pocket, fires down the middle on the slant. A ball's caught, but he's hit hard as he makes the catch. That's, I believe, McDonald again on the reception there for Artesia.
And this one's coming back.
Yeah, there might be a flag at the line of scrimmage we're seeing. Or wait, they didn't
Incomplete pass.
How was that incomplete?
I think it probably wasn't quite in his hands as he was coming down to the turf.
Whoa, yeah, boy, it looked like he had
hit the ground
possession.
and bounced up.
Oh, he got hit, but I didn't look like he dropped it. It was
Yeah,
close.
he may not have had control.
So, incomplete pass, 3rd down and 7 from the 47 of the Eagles. Go with the handoff up the middle, 45-40. Plowing ahead to the 35-yard line. That will be a 1st down pickup. And that makes it 14 yards for the Bulldogs on that carry. As coming up with it is Barrera. That's his longest carry of the game. He had one for 12 back in the first quarter. And that will be the 8th first down for Artesia, now knocking at the door at the Eagles 25 or 35 on the right hash. Back up the line of scrimmage. They'll send 2 receivers left and 2 to the right on the short side for the orange and white. Cox back at the shotgun at the 40. Fakes the handoff, rolls left. He wants to pass. Floating out to the left hash. He's going to fire it. Deep left corner. Guy open there at the left pylon. It might have been intercepted, but it's flipped up in the air instead. Boy, his body hit the turf, and the ball just shot straight up like a geyser that time off his chest. Hunter Wright, what a beautiful job there of getting his body up in the air. His back hit the turf, but almost had that INT.
And, you know, he made a great play in the ball. He was looking back the whole way as the ball was in the air. And I don't think the Artesia's receiver quite made the same judgment on the pass. So I think he made a great judgment, did everything he could to try to come down with that one.
Artesia now 6 of 12 in the passing game for 46 yards. Line it back up, 2nd and 10 now from the 35 on the right hash. Trips left, receiver right. Cox back with Barrera in the backfield. Takes a high snap, handoff up the middle of Barrera to the 30 on the draw. He spins and dropped at the 30. A 5-yard pickup for the go-to guy in the backfield. And coming up to make the wrap-up for the Eagles was Kenyon Singleton. His name coming up a few times tonight.
Absolutely. He's doing a great job trying to fill the hole coming up from the backfield. But right now, this is a big play. You know, this is 4-down territory for Artesia. We need to get ourselves a stop.
3rd and 5 from the 30. From the right hash, Cox by himself in the backfield. Throws the out route, and he had a defender on his arm the whole time. That's an easy flag on the near sideline. Ball was thrown out of bounds near the receiver, but holding on for dear life was Isaiah Montez. You can't hold on for dear life in football.
Well, you can at certain times, but that's not one of them.
Now, depending on where they mark this flag from, well, let's go back to line of scrimmage, so that they will get the full 15 yards on this one.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's going to give them a 1st down, too, so that will be number 9. That was a gift on the PI. And 4 penalties now. The Eagles for 50 yards, 5 penalties. And that will mark it up to the 15-yard line. 1st down for Artesia on the right hash. Twins left and right. And they'll put the shotgun situation for Cox. He has Barrera back with him. It looks like a couple receivers jumping quick on this one before the snap. And it will be a false start against Artesia, 5-yard penalty.
That would give you a little bit of a breather. Maybe we can try to get some pressure here on the quarterback.
55 yards in penalties, 7 flags thrown on Artesia here in the first half. As it goes to a 1st and 15 now from the 20. Clock down to 5:01 remaining second quarter. Backfield, low snap of the shot. He's going to have to roll left, get right for pressure at the 20. Pump fakes, 15. He runs it, spins, and dropped at the 12. He'll get 9 yards, and that bobbled snap, I think he thought he had more pressure than he did, and he just kind of lunged off to the left and kept going.
Yeah, and he did a smart quarterback thing, which is to freeze us before he cuts upfield. He made sure those linebackers didn't get a good angle on him because he made it look like he was going to throw it.
He's got 6 carries now for 29 yards, does Cox, and brings up a 2nd down and 6 from the Hobbs Eagle 11. They'll send 2 receivers left and right, Cox and Barrera in the backfield. Long snap count. We got the flag. Hobbs might have been offside. They had a big rush coming up the middle, and I'm not sure if he was off the line or not.
Yeah, he was responding to the center, but center kind of fidgeted like he was snapping and held the ball, and then he snapped it right after that. So he kind of did a little herky-jerk motion with the ball.
I wouldn't be surprised if Coach Henderson really nails the team about penalties in this first half during halftime.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either. Penalties and making sure that they make their tackles are 2 things Artesia is going to talk about at halftime.
Yeah, 8 penalties so far for 65 yards. Back at the 16-yard line, 2nd down and 11 now for the Orange squad. Hobbs will put 3 in the box defensively with 2 receivers left and right for Artesia. Again, a shotgun situation. 1-step drop at the 23, dancing to the left now. Staying on the left hash is Cox. A lot of time to throw. Throws the out route, caught at the 5. The receiver trying to rip some people off of him, and he will get about 13 or 14 yards there on the deep left side of the field. That is Barrera who comes up with the catch.
And with the 3-man rush there, just wasn't able to get to him. When they finally made him move his feet, they were able to recover on the line, gave him as much time as he wanted.
So Barrera gets 14, and that will be a first down. There's 7 now of 13 in the passing game. That is the 10th first down for Artesia, now in double digits there. Twins left and right. 1st and goal from the 3. It's going to be Cox up the gut. Goes off top of his offensive lineman. Did he break the plane?
Yes.
Yes, he did. He gets a 2-yard touchdown run, does Cox. That's his 2nd run for 2 yards for a TD in this first half. So 2 TDs for Cox. And now Artesia going to try to pull it up to a 7-point deficit with this PAT, which will be attempted by Braxton McDonald, the wide receiver. Or are they going to go for 2? No,
they're going to kick it.
They are going to kick it. The hold man will be Jake Barrera, the running back. Bowen bounces off the turf. Kind of a quick kick. Just try to get away in time and does get it through the right upright or right inside of it for the point. 3:44 left, 2nd quarter. It's back to a tight one. Hobbs 21, Artesia 14. Back in 60 seconds on the Hobbs Eagle Network. Artesia getting ready to kick off after they score a 2-yard run for Cox, make it 21-14. A bobble off the return for the Eagles off the hands of Ethan Van Landingham. Eagles pick it up, bring it across the 25, 30, and brought down at the 30-yard line. So they do get recovery by Manny Valdivia. He wasn't too happy when he was thrown to the turf, kind of shrugged off the defender and had some words for him.
One thing I know about Manny, and I know Manny well, is that he doesn't take much from anyone. Tough kid. Good family. You can't help but like the kid. He wants to do anything he can to help a team.
Coach does get in his face mask there for a second to tell him to calm down a little bit and take your aggression out during halftime, I guess, in the locker room. Hobbs will have it on the left hash, the 30-yard line. They lead 21-14. Last time this happened, though, they came back and scored quick off that 75-yard touchdown run for Trevino. They'll send 2 receivers, make it 3 now to the right, 2 to the left off the motions. And then a man in motion will be Trevino. He gets plowed and taken up the middle, grabbed to the left hash, 40, 45, 50, and he goes down there after a 20-yard gain for the quarterback up that left hash, and he basically stayed on that whole hash the whole time.
And that's a design play. You fake it going one way. It was a counter play coming back. They brought both the guard and tackle off the opposite side, kick the end, get up the gap, and go.
So that's going to be the 3rd first down for the Eagles, just inside the 49 of the Artesia Bulldogs. And for Graham, that's his 3rd carry for 26 yards.
has not been sacked yet in this game. 1st and 10 now for the Eagles. Shotgun. Graham will give it off to Lee Cone from left to right. Tries to angle out to the middle right in front of the Hobbs logo on the 50-yard line, and he might have got back to line of scrimmage, but he's going to be not much more than that.
What I love about that kid, even halfway down, boy, he's bracing himself, and he was trying to bear crawl with his knees off the turf. He was doing anything he could to try to get an extra yard there.
Bringing him down, Simon Jimenez for Artesia. No gain on the play for Lee Cone. 3 carries for 19 for him, just above 6 a pop. He had a 17-yard touchdown run earlier in the ball game.
I want to come back to a counter again.
Second.
I think pulling guard and tackle might be advantageous for us.
2nd down and 10 from the 49. Twins right, receiver left, shotgun. Going to go to the left side this time. Lee Cone trying to dance through the opening and try to cut it back to the middle, but he's met by a wall. Gets up for about 2 yards, though. But these little kind of short little runs, are they waiting for a big thing to come here pretty soon?
Yeah, absolutely. That was the counter there. Only was able to get 3 or 4 on it, but I thought the hole was bigger for a moment there, but Artesia quickly closed it.
Officials even shut it down more to 2 yards, so it brings it up to the 38-yard line and brings a 3rd down and 7 for the Eagles, a long 7. They'll break the huddle, bring 2 receivers right, 1 to the left side.
And the time's winding down on the quarter. If we can put one in here, there's not going to be much time left for Artesia.
1:51 left, 21-14 here in the second. They'll send 3 receivers right, 2 to the left now. By himself is Graham. 1-step drop, comeback route to the 50, caught by Hedrick up the middle, the 45, 40, 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown Eagles. And that's Caleb Hedrick for the score as he goes from the 48-yard touchdown. Hobbs back up on the board again. It seems like we're getting this back and forth type of situation here. Carbon copy their last drive.
And I absolutely love the call. It was an inside screen. You bring the receiver from the outside toward the line. Line lets everybody through and starts to get to the second level, and you just kind of cut behind the line and then turn upfield. Beautiful design play.
You can tell that they did plan to use Hedrick quite a bit in this game. He has 4 catches, the only 4 for the Eagles at this point, and that's a 48-yarder there. 62 yards on 4 receptions for Hedrick. A high snap of the PAT, and Van Landingham bloops it off the bottom crossbar there. That wasn't his fault, just a snap very low, and they really couldn't get a good grip on it, Frosto, and they only just an inch away from going over that crossbar. So no good on the PAT, but the Eagles do extend the lead, 27-14, 1:33 remaining here in the second. Coming back with you in 60 seconds on the Hobbs Eagle Network.
Welcome back to Watson Field. 27-14, your score with the Hobbs Eagles on top of the Artesia Bulldogs. End-over-end kick ends up being fielded about the 17-yard line, returned to the 22, and now the Hobbs Eagles looking to get a stop here with 1:31 on the clock.
That was Barrera. He gets it back to the 30, so that's not too bad a field position for the Bulldogs, but they do trail the Eagles with about 1:31 remaining, 27-14. Twins left and right for Artesia. Shotgun high to Cox. Delay handoff up the middle, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, and that will be a first down. 15-yard pickup for Barrera. So that's going to move the chains for Artesia, who's got a little bit of get up and go now as they need to get some points on the board before the end of this first half. 11 first downs from the 44 now. Cox back to pass. He came up underneath the center. Curl route to the far side, caught at the 50, and that's going to be a 6-yard pickup on that far left sideline. And I believe that's the first catch. Yeah, it is for Knowlton. So 6 yards on the play, and that'll be the 8th reception on 14 attempts. Back to pass again, Cox. Waits for a receiver, fade route on the left side of the field, and it's overthrown. They go right back to the same receiver again, overthrowing Knowlton, incomplete.
And that play, that they had him for a brief moment there, but, unable to deliver the ball where it needed to be.
64 yards in the air so far for Artesia on 8 completions out of 15 attempts. That will stop the clock. 3rd down and 4 now from looks like right on the 50-yard line. So they need to get to about the 46 of the Eagles for the first down, but the clock's not on their side with 53 seconds remaining. Trips right, receiver left. Cox in the backfield. Takes it back to the 42. Stutter steps, rolls right. He's got pressure from behind. He's going to go down. Loses about 3 yards on the back side on the right near the hash. And coming up from behind for the Eagles D was Trey Jett to put him down on the turf.
Great outside blitz there from Jett. Did a great job of accelerating, getting at his feet.
So Jett makes it even harder for him now. 4th and 11. Artesia gets up to the line quick to the 43 to get this play set call.
They're not going to do it. They're going to let time go as far down as they can, call a timeout, and then punt it away.
20 seconds and ticking here, and you're right. They are just standing flat-footed on the line looking at their coach, Henderson, on that far left sideline. Hobbs has 3 in the box up front for the defense, and they're just waiting their time here as they don't want to give any time for the Eagles to have a chance for a run back. If they do decide to punt, this team is known to do the fake punts out there. They did it last week twice on a 4th down situation on a drive to get the win over Roswell. Timeout on the field. 2 seconds remaining in the second. We'll keep it right here. What's Coach Henderson telling his troops in that huddle, and what's on the other side for the defense?
Punted away from the defenders. You don't want to give them a chance to get a return. At this point, I wouldn't doubt if the punter even doesn't kick it at all.
What about Adonis Bryant? I'm sure he's licking his chops right now,
Yeah,
isn't he?
he won't get the ball. If anything, they'll just down it.
They could switch his jersey and put another number on him so they would know who he's kicking to.
I don't think you'll even see a kick here. If the smart thing to do is for the punter to catch it, take 2 steps backwards and drop. Yeah, and I'm sure that's what they're being coached to do.
I don't think kneeling down. I think Hobbs Eagle coaching staff is smart enough to have that timeout signal the minute that knee goes down.
Well, it's change of possession.
Oh, that's right, 4th down. Yeah, and that's enough time for they could say 2 seconds ran off.
That quarterback's going to run around.
4th down and 11 for Artesia at the 43. Can you imagine if a receiver went out long, though? You never know.
Maybe they're just going to throw it deep.
Cox is back in shotgun. High snap. He's going to throw it from the 34. Steps up in the pocket. He's rolling left. He's got a man from behind who throws him to the turf horn. I believe that's the big man, Blake Hensley. Let's see if that's who I thought it was, but that was a annihilation move there. Never saw who was coming at him that time. I don't think that was Hensley. I think that was Hensley.
Big Blake Hensley.
He put a complete blind shot from behind. The quarterback Cox kind of rolled from the 30 up to the 40 on the left hash. Hensley kind of ballooned behind, and you can just see that freight train coming at him.
It was a nice play by Hensley, and it put a good exclamation point on a good half for the Hobbs Eagle.
About an 8-yard loss, and that win the first half. Hobbs holding on to that lead now, 27-14 over Artesia. We'll take a 3-minute break and come back live on Cool 95.7, the Cool 95.7 app, HobbsAmerica.com, and YouTube.
Can you add 30 more seconds, please?
Welcome back to Watson Stadium. We're at halftime. Ty Friend and Brian Coltrane with you. Ron Gunner back at the station tonight. The Eagles lead Artesia 27-14. First of all, looking at the scoring in the first half of action. Eagles got both scores in the first quarter. A 9-yard run for Caden Trevino at the 3:08 mark made it 7-0. Followed up by a 17-yard run for Isaiah Lecone at 2:15 left in the first quarter. Hobbs up big 14-0 at the end of one. Artesia did get a score in the second quarter at that 7:21 mark as their quarterback Cox, a 2-yard run, make it 7-14. Eagles return the favor. Trevino coming up with his second touchdown, a 75-yard run at the 7:02 mark of the second, extended the lead to 21-7. Cox got his second touchdown of the second quarter for Artesia, and that was a 2-yard run, matching the first one he had earlier in the quarter at the 3:44 mark, 21-14. Hobbs still by 7. And then the 48-yard pass play from Colton Graham to Hedrick at the 1:33 mark of the second quarter put the Eagles up 27-14. Unfortunately, the PAT hit the bottom crossbar, did not go through, so Hobbs up by 13 at the half. We kind of saw some type of a seesaw affair there a little bit, Coach. Hobbs scores, then big play for Artesia to get in the end zone. But they get that extended lead towards the end there, and you just see the momentum kind of building for Hobbs. Right now, I mean, it's one of those things. You got your last hurrah in the regular season, a win, and you're going to get your first win, and you lose, you're going to go over, which you don't know how that's going to play out next week in the bowl game situation, whatever that's going to be.
I think confidence is a big thing here. And we've seen them every week become a little bit more confident in the offense, a little bit more confident in the offense. And now it seems to be coming all together. They've turned the turnovers down. They've been stopped a couple of times, but they're not giving it up where the defense doesn't have a lot of field to work with. And that's the big thing, is you make somebody go against 80 yards against our defense has a good chance of holding. You give somebody a 20-yard chance to score, that's not going to work in our favor.
Well, we did see kind of the difference in the passing game this year. Wasn't as big as it has been the last couple of seasons, but kind of more diversified and evened out over the last few games. Of course, that first game the Eagles saw with their passing game was in the 100 level, 100 level again against Lovington, 114 Clovis, 107 Lovington, and then Carlsbad last week, 221 yards. Tonight, kind of going to the low numbers right now. All 4 passes completed to Hedrick for 62 total. 48-yard touchdown was the big part of those numbers on the score that he did have. But Hobbs is 4 of 6 in the passing game, and all again going to Hedrick.
Here's the thing. If you don't have to throw the ball because you're able to run it down somebody's throat, why do it? And we've been running the ball well. We've been gashing them with the runs, and we've only had to throw a few times, and it's been pretty successful when we wanted to do it, but it's not something we have to do. So we're gonna take what they give us, and right now they're kind of giving us the run.
And really not a very big numbers in the running game so far, but as you said, been kind of consistent at this point. Isaiah Lecone with 4 carries for 21 yards. He leads the running backs, but Graham as the leader in terms of yardage. Colton Graham, the quarterback, 3 for 26. He had a 20-yard gain. I think the big difference is normally he's in those negative numbers because he's been sacked so many times trying to get away from pressure. Tonight that's not happening.
And he's had a lot better time in the backfield. He's not being pressured. He's got time to throw when he's wanted to throw. We haven't seen him have to tuck and run, and he's been very calm, and he's been delivering the ball fairly well.
Trevino with 1 carry for 9 yards, which was a touchdown, and Thompson a carry for 3 yards. So right now there's been 5 players that had a chance to run the ball.
That's 10 rushes for 58 yards. That combined with the pass plays for 62, the Eagles have had 120 yards of offense in the first half. So those don't jump off the page at you, but you do have a 13-point lead at the half break, though.
Yeah, you know what? You take what you get, and you don't want to be stingy and say, oh, we want this, this, and this. You take what they give you. That's the one thing I've seen Coach Stevens in the years that I've seen him coach is he can win a game a multitude of ways. He doesn't have to do one thing or one thing only. And even though he's a systems guy, his system is designed to take advantage of what the other team gives you. And they've done a great job of that in the first half.
And normally that's what Artesia is known for. You make a mistake, they make you pay for it. But tonight it's going the other way for Coach Stevens and the Eagles. Speaking of Artesia, let's look at their numbers first half. So far, the kid that we expected to have the best rushing numbers at this point does have those, Jake Barrera, but nowhere near what he's been used to, especially after last week's performance at defeat of Roswell. 14 carries for 83 yards. He's had several double-digit runs of 10, 12, 14, and his last one was 15 yards. He's been trying to find the holes, not really getting there hard. I mean, he's kind of weaving his way through places. Hobbs been trying to get him low. He has broke off a few tackles and got out to the outside. That's when he hurts you the most.
And, yeah, that's the biggest thing is that all of those gains where he got over 10, they weren't clean runs where he was stopped 10 yards. They were runs where he was hit 2 or 3 yards deep and then ended up making a play where he sloughed off of somebody and they didn't quite get the clean tackle on him. And missed tackles will kill you. You know, I would say about 40 of his yards were from missed tackles.
The other guy that ran the ball was Cox, the quarterback. 8 carries for 23 yards and 2 touchdowns, at both 2 yards apiece. So combined on those two, the only ones that have run in the first half, 22 carries for 106 yards. On the passing game, 5 receivers have caught passes in this contest. The leader at this point in yardage was Rodriguez. He had 2 catches for 20 yards. McDonald, their leading receiver on the season, 3 catches for 17. Also getting one was the Barrera, the running back. He had a catch for 14. A few other players getting numbers in the first half. Corbin Farrar had 1. He finished up with 7 in that. And also Knowlton with 1 catch for 6 yards. So far in the first half, Artesia 8 of 15 in the passing game for 64 yards. Add that to the rush of 106. They've got 170 yards in the first half of action on a total of 30 plays. They've had to punt once, they've fumbled the ball away once and gave it up on downs, and they've had 11 first downs in the first half compared to 3 for the Eagles. So in terms of time and ball management, they really have the advantage on the first downs, but they don't have the advantage on the scoreboard.
Sure, and you look at the difference in the scoreboard, the one big turnover, and that was on the kick that was dropped, and we got started with great field position. And then we got the ball 1 extra time also because they kicked off to us and start the game. So those 2 things, 2 extra possessions, and we got 2 extra scores. That's the difference in the scoreboard at the moment.
In terms of penalties, that was a big difference there, too. Artesia had 8 flags for 60 yards, and a couple of those pretty big ones at crucial times. Hobbs, though, at just 5, and a total of 50 yards. So that's at one point, I think it was like 5-0 in terms of the flags going on in favor of Hobbs. I mean, Artesia was getting flagged every other play, it seemed like.
But I hadn't seen a flag thrown tonight, except for the one that was kind of the weird call where we had a defensive block in the back. I've not seen a call that wasn't a true call on the field. They've done a good job tonight. They're calling it pretty steady, pretty clean game.
So looks like Artesia is going to be the first team back out on the field. 2:26 left. We'll have a little warm-up period on top of that. Your score at the half, Hobbs 27, Artesia 14. Coming back at you in 2 minutes live on Cool 95.7, the Cool 95.7 app, and on YouTube.
Welcome back to Watson Field. 27-14 the score. The Hobbs Eagles up on the Artesia Bulldogs. Ty Friend with Brian Coltrane here. And both teams coming out on the field for the second half. We got about 2 minutes, 3 minutes warm-up before we get the play going here. But what do you expect to see in the second half, Ty?
Well, I'll tell you what, that cannon was surely loaded up. That thing had a big blast. Hopefully that gives a little energy for the Eagles as they come out. Of course, they're wearing their black uniforms tonight, giving a little bit of strength out there against the Artesia Bulldogs. And Artesia is kind of one of those rebuilding programs. Last year, they lost their last 2 games of the regular season. They also lost their couple games here this season. Now, last week, knocked off the 2-time defending 5A champs Roswell, which is kind of an upset. That was at Artesia, though. But this was a game where they're going to try to get themselves over the hump and try to come down here and beat Hobbs after beating them last year 52-28, and the tables are getting turned on them. I think Hobbs is kind of at that now or never type of syndrome of, hey, we can't afford another loss to go into this bowl season next week 0-4. That's not how you want to do it. And even though it is kind of a crazy year and a very reduced schedule, again, 0-4 means 0-4 no matter how many games you play.
You know, it's one of those things that they've been so close in every game. They've been there in every game. You just have to learn how to win. And you just have to have 1 or 2 things go right, go your way, and you realize, yes, this works, and you start to trust what you do, and the wins start to come. And I watched that the first season that Stevens was in Eunice. They lost their first 4 games and ended up winning state. And I know that he's going to be patient. He's going to teach these kids. Given enough time, he's going to get this program rolling where it needs to be.
So what's the message at halftime? And you do have the 13-point lead. The kids are pretty motivated. They're on their home field. Do you continue to tell them to juice it up or not take advantage or not take it for granted what your lead is at this point?
You can't get too high or too low. You know, it's easy to get swept up in the moment. You need to tell the kids, do your job, do your job, do your job, do your job. Everybody has a responsibility in the field. If everybody does their job, you end up okay.
And I was told here before the game by somebody that seems to know what might be the situation with the bowl game next week is that they might do cross-divisional games, too. You can end up playing a Roswell or somebody in this area, even though they're not the same division as you. Hopefully not a team you've already played. I don't think they'll do that to you. But there's no discussion yet on if records are going to match up, how close you have to be to play. Some teams will probably have to play at a neutral site. But I never had the idea that they were going to have different divisions playing each other. I mean, I guess they're just going with the travel distance. Is more likely.
You know, nothing surprises me anymore. I'll just leave it at that. The world's different this year.
Yeah, that's definitely the case. And from what we've been told, I know for a while they were saying the governor has not actually approved playoffs. We saw the soccer tournament, the volleyball tournament being approved. And so more than likely we've got this far. Football will be too. But heck, Albuquerque's schools have only played 1 game so far. Kickoff for Artesia. Eagles will return. And it is caught at the 10-yard line, brought up around the 15 to the left hash, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Trevino to the 50. He's at Artesia 40, 30, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown. About a 75-yard return as Trevino scampers in for the score.
That's where the starburst works. Valdivia was the one that caught it, took 2 steps up, handed it off. Valdivia fakes like he got it, and the Artesia defense, you know, the return team started keying in on Valdivia. He didn't have the ball.
Yeah, Trevino definitely a spark plug for this team. That's his 3rd touchdown, a 9-yard run, a 75-yard touchdown run on the offensive side, and then we'll get the exact numbers on that return after all the starbursts and trickery going on there. At least 75 yards, maybe be a little less than that, but we'll see how that works out. But still, Trevino with 3 touchdowns in this ball game. He's definitely in that MVP mode for sure. As we wait for Van Landingham, they did miss a PAT on the last kick. See if they can put this one through. Another low step and firing at him, and it's Prosto rolling right. That wasn't a design play. He's going to run it in the end zone himself and scores a 2-point conversion. And it looks like getting splattered after that and getting hurt after the mistake there on the snap. Looks like hobbled up at this point and being helped off the field is Caden Trevino. I didn't see what happened to him. It looked like his ankle or something.
I didn't catch that either. I was watching the get up in the run part. I didn't see what happened behind it.
We'll take a 30-second break as the Eagles get up more on the scoreboard. It's now 35-14. Come back with us in half a minute.
Welcome back, Watson Field, 35-14, your score. The Hobbs Eagles up on the Artesia Bulldogs. The Hobbs getting ready to kick off. Colton Graham doing the kicking duties for the Eagles here. And just like that, the Hobbs Eagles extend this lead, and it looks better moment after moment.
And yeah, Brian, I did shortchange him. They're going to give him 92 on that one. I think the Starburst, I thought, caught up some of those yards, but 92 is what the official numbers are.
And actually, it should be like 4 yards for Valdivia and then the rest for him. That's the way it actually works.
Like those hook and ladders, too. We saw the Eagles try. We kicked to the 20 on the near sideline, diving ahead to the 25 and getting a few extra yards on the dive. For the Bulldogs was Jonte Rodriguez.
I got 2 quick scores for you. Tatum over Logan at half, 38-22, and Lovington over Portales, second quarter score, 21-9.
Well, Brian, the question I have for you, would you consider this a comfortable lead at this point for the Hobbs Eagles, sitting at 35-14, 3 touchdowns?
No, not at all. If you get comfortable, that's when people may come back. So don't get comfortable. Go out there and try to shut them out in the second half.
Of course, Artesia was 8 of 15 in the first half for 64 yards in the passing game. They have it at 1st and 10 at their own 25. Eagles with 4 in the box. Twins left and right. Shotgun for Cox back at the 18. Stays in the pocket. Does the curl route, almost intercepted at the 35 and bouncing off the chest plate that time and almost getting the pick for the Eagles was Hunter Wright.
And Wright would have been all the way into the end zone. I think he knew it, and he probably just dropped it a little bit because he thought he was gone.
Yeah, that thing just kind of bounced off his plate there. He's got his head down right now, and he's looking at his hands and putting the white gloves up to his face like, what happened here? I didn't even see his hands get on. It looked like it just bounced off the plate quick.
Yeah, he wants that one back.
Second down at the 25 and 10. Twins in left and a right. High shotgun snap, fake the handoff right, rolling left is Cox. He wants to throw at the left hash 20. He's going to fire it down the middle of the field. This one is picked off by the Eagles back at their 35. Hobbs is kind of waiting in center field for that one to drop into his chest that time. Presley Greeno with the INT.
And he was actually beat, but the quarterback was scrambling and wasn't able to get enough power on it to get it out to the receiver, and we're a beneficiary of some good pressure.
And we saw that a few weeks ago for the Lovington Wildcats. A lot of time that they had in that backfield to throw, but tonight it looks like the Eagles secondary is taking care of business and keeping those receivers covered up.
Absolutely. You know, when turnovers make for scores, life is good. And right now, if we can go down and score again, life is great.
Artesia, an interception, a punt, a fumble, and a turnover on downs. Usually not what Artesia is looking forward to in a ball game. 1st and 10 for the Eagles at their 36-yard line. Shotgun, Cox. Or excuse me, what am I saying? It's Colton Graham, not Cox. They just gave the ball away. Hands it off to the Eagles up on the right hash, and that will be a 5-yard pickup for Hobbs.
Thompson on the carry there. And, you know, his little misdirection, they bring one running back across one way and hand it to the other one going the other way.
Thompson now 2 carries for 8 yards. Hobbs going to choose some clock here. 2nd down and 5 now from the 41. Eagles lead big here, 35-14. Split formation backfield, receiver left and right. Colton Graham back to pass, 3-step drop, fires it down the far sideline on the fade route, and getting kind of stuck on his footwork on that far side and kind of getting tripped up over there for the Eagles was Easton Kirkendall, and kind of was getting the arms up in the air, and his legs were kind of churning up and down, but just couldn't get the extension he needed to make the catch. That would have been a fingertip catch about the 30.
Oh, it would have. And, you know, quarterback needed to reel that one in by about another foot or so, and it would have been a touchdown. But, yeah, hitting that guy on the full-speed run like that with pressure and people flying all around you, that's an art.
I can't remember what international army. I think the Turkish army marches like that. They're both arms swinging up and down, and the legs are going up in the air. 3rd down and 6 for the Eagles. 3rd and 5. They're going to do the handoff around the right end. And it looks like Thompson again. He's met by a pile behind the 40-yard line. And, boy, Artesia just loads up all the orange jerseys, or make it the white jerseys on top with the orange helmets. I don't know if they're going to give him the forward progress on that one or not to get back to the line. Looks like they do, so no gain on the play. But he had a whole pile to work against that time.
Yeah, it forces us into a punt situation here. And got to make sure we punt this to the right guy. We certainly don't want 23 taking it back on us.
Yeah, Barrera doing a good job of returns in that first half. Did have 14 carries for 83 yards through 2 quarters of play. So Hobbs back in their punt situation. Frosto is the man back of the 32. Twins left and right. 4th down and 8. Oh, we got a penalty flag before the snap as the
head linesman on that far sideline in front of the Artesia bench throws the flag, and looks like Frosto is pointing to the other side, and yep, the referee's also pointing there too. Legal substitution. Not sure what. I didn't see anybody.
And you know,
coming
this puts us within a couple of yards of a first down. Do we send our offense back out and go for it?
You give them the ball in the offensive side of the field. That's kind of a big risk there. So 5-yard penalty. Eagles 6 penalties for 50.
I'd send my quarterback out there and do a hard count and use a timeout.
9 penalties for 65 yards. 4th down and 2 now for the Eagles at the 44. Frost will delay, but he will punt from the right hash and sails it end over end, caught at the 20-yard line, left hash. Up to the middle, wrap around to the right side, 25, 30, 35 to the near sideline, 37. The return man is the receiver, Braxton McDonald.
Yeah, and they missed a block in the back right there. And,
started about the 15, got down to the 37, a 22-yard return for McDonald. And that's where the Bulldogs will start, but they kind of fizzled out on that first series in this quarter. Hey, they don't have much time to be messing with here with 9:47 left, third quarter, down by 21.
You're right about that. I do have a Hobbs volleyball score come in. Hobbs has swept Carlsbad today 3-0.
And that's an important one because yesterday they lost to Clovis in a tight battle too, which kind of jumbles up their district. And again, one team district champs. They might have 4 extra wild cards thrown in there, but Hobbs is kind of hoping they can get to the rest of the victories in the regular season.
They're dangerous.
First down and 10 from the 38. Shotgun back to Cox by himself at the 30. Fires a little dump over to the 40 on the out. And it's going to be caught at the 40. Maybe a 2-yard gain on the forward progress that time. But the Eagles snooped that out as they had out there first for Hobbs to put a lick on his, I believe that was Trey Jett.
Yeah, Jett did a great job of reading the play and getting over there quickly.
So that was McDonald for a 2-yard gain. That's 4 catches for 19 for him at the 40. Second down and 8 for the Bulldogs. Twins left and right. Shotgun to Cox. Stays at the 35. Fires it on the out route, but way overthrows his receiver on that far side. That was the running back that time, Rodriguez. And a ball went right to the Artesia sideline on that left part of the field.
And I think he was hearing steps on that one because he got rid of that ball really quick and almost forced it to him.
So now that's going to bring up a 3rd down and 8 from the 40-yard line, left hash. Bulldogs will send 2 receivers left and 2 to the right side. Single setback underneath the center is Cox. He'll back out of it, go to the shotgun now on the reset. Go with the handoff, the draw up the middle of the 40, diving towards the left hash, and that's not going to be enough for a first down. I don't know why he went down that quickly. 5-yard pickup on the play, needed about 3 more to get the first.
He went down because the Hobbs defender had his ankles. It may have been Jett again. I think 24 was on that play. But kind of had his ankles and was holding on, just dragged him down.
So a 3-yard pickup for Barrera. And that'll bring up a 3rd down, or make it 4th down and 2, or 3 now, from the 40-yard or 45-yard line.
Big play here.
Trips right, 2 receivers left. The referee on the far sideline, the head linesman, quickly runs on the field and says, Coach Henderson wants a timeout for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, Coach Henderson was 8 yards on the field screaming it too.
8:36 left, third quarter, and Hobbs up by 21 over Artesia, 35-14. Coming back with you in 60 seconds here at Watson Stadium. Can you come back to us? Fourth down and 3 for the Bulldogs. A bad snap on the punt, having to go back for it and run it himself to the far sideline, to the 40, and back to the 45. That is the line of scrimmage, was Cord Cox, the quarterback. So we weren't sure if he was going to throw that ball or maybe punt it, but that was a bad snap. And that's going to be, looks like actually going to say he went out at the 41, so he loses about, 3-4 yards on the play, and that'll be a turnover on downs. The Hobbs Eagles would love to get some more points on the board to put some insurance in here.
The most telling thing about that play, at the end of the play, when he realized he didn't get the first down, the frustration level, spikes the football as hard as he can, ends up about midfield with the football. But the frustration level is high on the Artesia side right now.
1st and 10 for the Eagles at the Artesia 41 on the right hash. They'll send 3 receivers left, 2 to the right side. Now by himself is Colton Graham. Fakes the handoff on the slot right to left, and they're going to call the some type of movement, I believe, on the Eagles. They stop the play. Wait for the official signal here. That will be a dead ball foul, and it'll be a false start against the Eagles, so they'll pick up their 6th penalty, 55 yards total so far. Only their first penalty this second half. And I think you want to take advantage of this series here. Don't just be happy with that 21-point lead and say, hey, we're just kind of going back and forth here, no scoring. But, I mean, tack it on.
Absolutely.
I mean, they scored 52 points last year against the Eagles.
I would love to see him come back with that fake to the running back quarterback counter coming to the near side.
1st and 15 from the 46 of the Bulldogs. Eagle football, trips left, Twins right. Graham will bring a man in motion from right to left. This time he will hand it off and putting his shoulder down to the left hash. Frosto continues to plow ahead. He's going to try to get back that penalty yardage and then some. And that'll be an 8-yard pickup for Frosto. That'll be his 2nd carry for 7 yards total.
And that was a good play to have right there, good positive yardage. And that was all on Frosto's shoulders. There really wasn't a hole. He just designed one with his helmet and kept pushing.
Actually, just going to give him 6 on that one. So 6 yards for Frosto. And to bring up a 2nd down and 9 now at the Artesia 40. And the Eagles taking their time breaking the huddle, just walking up to the line. Clock down to 7:50 remaining here in the 3rd. And up 35-21, or 14, I should say, over Artesia. Twins left, one receiver right, handoff from right to left, pick up the left hash 30. And stumbling and almost getting away from the ankle tackle, Demetrius Frosto again. Boy, he was just one shoestring away from racking that in for some scoring. And that will be for 13 yards for Frosto on the carry.
And just all he had to do was stay on his feet there. There wasn't anything in orange and white anywhere near him.
4 first downs for the Eagles now as they mark it at the 28-yard line on the left hash. Hobbs taking a look on the sideline now to get the play call as they check their wristbands.
And most importantly, not only is it a first down, but the clock's moving.
And we're in the 3rd quarter. Split formation backfield. Twins left, receiver left as well. Handoff around the left end. Stretching it out as Lee Cohn out to the 22-yard line. As he'll pick up about 6 or 7 on that one. Getting in front of the Hobbs Eagle bench.
And the nice thing about that run was his patience. There wasn't really a hole, but he let his line keep pushing, and finally they got to the 2nd level, and that's when he made his cut. That was a la Emmitt Smith. He was great about that. Patience for the running back.
5 carries for 28 for Licone. He had a 17-yard touchdown in the first half off the run. 2nd down and 3 now from the 23. Shotgun back to Graham. He drops it back to the 32. Fires down the middle and had a man open near the back of the end zone. Fires it through on the seam, but overthrows the receiver. The defenders are about 3 yards away from that intended receiver that time. And boy, Eagles were tasting at that one. I was Demetrius Frosto out there again.
Yeah, he had a couple of steps on the defense. Just got to deliver it there. I'd come right back to the same play. Why not?
Yeah, well, you got to also preserve your downs. You got a 3rd down and 3, and you definitely want to get a first down out of this. Maybe get more shots at the end zone. So I don't know if you really want to.
It's 4 down. It's 4 down territory.
Yep.
They think you're going to run it here. Why not? You'll get single coverage on him.
3rd down and 3. Graham will get the shotgun, split formation. He's going to go to the delay handoff, and Lacone's going to angle left. He's met in the backfield. Think you're going to run? That's what they did, Coach. He gets put down, though. I don't even know if he got back to line of scrimmage this time.
I think everybody in the dog knew you had to run it there, which is why I was thinking maybe go back to the same play. Yeah. But brings up a 4th down, maybe come back to the bubble screen, maybe the inside screen that we got the touchdown on. Something where we're not forcing it downfield here.
No gain on the play for Licone. 4th down and 3 for the Eagles now, as they will have it at the Artesia 22-yard line. This is a big stand for the Artesia defense. They don't want any more bleeding as they trail 35-14 to the Eagles. And we got another timeout for Artesia. Boy, Coach Henderson burning an early one. He's got 1 left, I believe, and that's.
I think he saw something. He probably knew that he'd been had. He had to take that timeout to prevent it from happening.
But with your 21-point deficit, you're going to have to keep those timeouts with a game going with 1 more quarter left to come back in it. We'll take a quick 30-second break. 5:56 left, 3rd quarter. 35-14 Eagles over Artesia. Come back with us on Cool 95.7 and YouTube.
For some reason on the app, it doesn't give me options for 3rd and 4th period. All it gives me is first half, second half. I don't know. It's somewhere in the settings. Let me see if I can edit it.
4th down and 3 for the Hobbs Eagles. They have it at the Artesia 22-yard line. A big play for Hobbs as they are going for it, obviously. Colton Graham in the shotgun. He brings Frosto back with him along with Leco in the split formation. Give it to Frosto up the gut, 20. Angle left to the 15, 10, 5, 1 to beat. Drags to the end zone, lunges ahead and scores. But is there a flag or not there, Brian? Looks like there's a flag.
Sitting on the 10.
Yeah, right near the 10-yard line on the near left sideline. And that's going to be bringing it back. So, unfortunately, that's going to be a 22-yard touchdown negated by a yellow handkerchief. So either a legal block in the back or a hold definitely going to be called here. Or now there might be a face mask. I see one of the other officials signaling to the coach, to Hobbs coach Stevens. That wasn't the white cap, though.
We're going for one. That's a touchdown.
Personal foul. Face mask. So Hobbs will decline and get a 15-yard penalty on the kickoff.
Absolutely.
So 22-yard touchdown run for Frosto. And that will be his third carry. 2 carries in the second half, 35 in the second half, 34 overall. So what a way to wrap it up on that drive as the Hobbs Eagles ramble in from 22 yards out as we wait the PAT from Ethan Van Landingham. Good snap, kick is up, and the kick is good. Now, Brian, would you say that's icing on the cake or what? 42-14.
Absolutely.
5:49 remaining third quarter. We're coming back with you live on Hobbs Eagle Football. Don't leave us.
Welcome back, Watson Field, 42-14. Your Hobbs Eagles up on the Artesia Bulldogs, starting to blow them out here. And the kickoff's going to end up moving 15 yards forward. That face mask on the touchdown play. Hobbs is going to end up kicking off inside Artesia territory. Starting to get a good feeling about this one, Ty.
Yeah, Demetrius Frosto, 22-yard touchdown. Got that face mask penalty added on top of that. That's why they're getting to move it up, as you said. So they're going to have a good chance to make Artesia work a little harder here. If they can keep that ball more up in the air, though, a lot of times you get this 15 yards, you'll see kickers kick it into the end zone. It's kind of a waste of time, isn't it?
Yeah, I would love just to see a regular onside kick here. Give yourself a chance to get a possession back.
And that will be Colton Graham to kick off, and it's going into the end zone. Trying for the field goal. It's off to the right, no good, but automatic touchback. I've never understood that, why he would do that, but that's not for me to make the call. I'm up here to.
Well, I mean, how many of our possessions do we kick off in one way or fashion and they end up beyond the 20-yard line?
Right.
Quite often they start at the 30, 35. You're getting a guaranteed 20 start. That's actually
right.
a good bet.
And you're kind of worried about Barrera, too. I mean, he's a pretty good run back, man, too.
Which, I mean, if I'm going to start at the 30 and I'm used to defending at the 30, that's why I would do an onside kick there. At least you have a chance for the possession, and you're still starting at the 30.
Or at least a squib. It's going to take a few bounces and make a few seconds for them to have to react to it. First and 10 from the 20. Twins left and right. Ready for a shotgun is Cox. Desperation time for the Bulldogs, down 42-14. Twins left and right. Takes the snap, one-step drop, turns and fires the curl out to the 25 left hash. Heading towards the middle now and brought down at the 27. That is Barrera. Gets 5 yards on the reception.
And, you know,
that's Jonte Rodriguez, excuse me.
He had a good opportunity when he caught the ball. He had about 3 yards, but 3 different Hobbs defenders were dancing with him, not letting him get out of the cone.
That was Rodriguez. 3 catches for 27 now. 10th reception on 20 throws for Artesia. Second down and 3. From the 15, another quick shot to the 30. It's fumbled. Did he actually have possession, though? Ball rolls back to the 25, and we'll wait to see if they roll a catch on this one first.
They do. Hobbs
yes,
ball.
Do. It came off the hands of the Artesia Bulldog. He had it for a moment, Jake Barrera, and it popped out of his, looked like his bicep kind of pushed it out, and it went up down behind him, and the Eagles recover. I tried to see who got the recovery on that play.
I think it bounced in the hands of number 78.
usually like to look at the sideline to see who's getting all the high fives. But another fumble for Artesia. 2 turnovers on the ground on the fumbles for Artesia. So Hobbs again knocking at the door. So I guess that automatic touchback really doesn't hurt much, does it? I mean, now we got a 1st and 10 from the Artesia 26-yard line. Shotgun to Colton Graham, hands it left. No, he takes it himself around the right end. 25, 20, 15, and down to the 12. Great fake, got me going on that one. So he definitely is getting the first down and then some. That's going to be 17 yards for Colton Graham.
And I think at this point, Coach is going to try to keep it on the ground a whole bunch, grind it out. Clock's now in your favor with a big lead like this. Now you're in the safe zone where you can run the ball and run that clock down.
6 first downs for the Eagles, and for Colton Graham now 4 carries for 43 yards. Definitely loving those numbers. Eagles on the right hash, a 1st and 10 from the 12-yard line. Shotgun to Graham, split formation, handoff left, breaking a tackle to the 10, going to the 5, and diving ahead again, close to that goal line. And just down by about a knee was Frosto. And so he continues to be a big man in the running game now. Gets it down to about the 1. That's an 11-yard pickup for Frosto.
Was that Frosto or Thompson on the run? I believe it was Thompson that got it. They faked to Frosto.
Yeah, they were both in the area, though, so we'll try to sort that one out. That was 11 yards regardless. We'll give it to Thompson. That is his 4th for 19 yards. First down, that's number 7. Shotgun to Graham again. Going to hand it off. No, fakes it again. Rolls right and into the end zone. Graham didn't even get touched until he came about 2 yards deep into the end zone. 1-yard touchdown run for Colton Graham. That's his first rushing TD of the ball game.
And the Hobbs Eagles are just tacking it on now. They make the extra point. We're actually going to have a running clock, I believe.
Yeah, that's correct. 35-plus would be a mercy rule situation.
I don't think Artesia came into the game thinking that was going to happen.
That's definitely not the thinking of Artesia any game. And, of course, they got that big victory last week over Roswell, defending state champs 2 years in a row. Van Landingham on to do the kicking chore for Hobbs. Kick is up, and it is good. 4:07 left, third quarter. The clock's not running much in this quarter, that's for sure, but the Eagles are running up the scoreboard. 49-14, back in 60.
Welcome back. Watson Stadium, 49-14. Hobbs Eagles up on the Artesia Bulldogs. Clock's going to run now after this kickoff. I know you were complaining the clock didn't seem to move in this quarter. It's going to move a lot faster now because even incomplete passes, the clock's going to run. Hobbs is going to be kicking off, this time at their own 40. They don't get the bonus like they did last time. But, man, there's a whole bunch of very quiet people sitting over there in orange right now that are completely stunned.
4 unanswered touchdowns for the Hobbs Eagles in this one. 48-yard pass in the second quarter to Hedrick. 3 scores in the third quarter, Trevino, Frosto, and Graham. So the Eagles put it on here. Final regular season game. The kickoff for Graham. This will be onside. It'll take a few bounces. Picked up at the 25 in stride on the near side, 30, and out to the 34 to make it the 33-yard line out of bounds as a return man for Artesia, Jonte Rodriguez. So Artesia is going to have to speed up their game a little bit. As you said, the clock will be running, so incomplete passes are not going to give you more time. You got to get back up and take care of business unless you want to have this big of a deficit on the final scoreboard.
I think, in Artesia's mind, they aren't thinking that they're down by 35. They're just trying to go out there and score. And they're not really thinking about that, but not enough time on the clock for them.
4:03 remaining here in the third. 49-14, Eagles by 35. Mercy rule clock in effect. Continue to run unless Artesia can get it down underneath 35. 2 receivers left and right. Cox in that backfield. Waiting for the shotgun. 4 in the front for the Hobbs Eagle defense. 3-step drop back at the 23. Turns and fires. Fades it off towards the middle. The seam route, though. Turning and spinning and making a catch at the 21. Big time for Jacob Creighton. He had to turn his body completely around. So he went from the 33 46 yards for Creighton on that one.
I don't think anybody told the scoreboard operator. I think somebody just had to go up there and yell because they kept the clock off as they were bringing the sticks.
46 yards for Creighton on that catch. And that will be the 12th reception on 22 attempts. 1st and 10 now from the 22-yard line, also 12 first downs. A pass to the far sideline on the curl, caught and brought down at the 15. That'll be about 8 yards on that reception. And that will be Jonte Rodriguez.
I think right now the Bulldogs are kind of like a wounded bear. I think they're mad and they're coming out here trying to do something.
Rodriguez now with 4 catches for 35 yards. Back to pass again, 2nd down and 3. Cox will throw another out route to that far sideline at the 9, but it well overthrows his receiver. And, that was a big attempt there for Braxton McDonald out on that far sideline. And the Eagles right in his athletic supporter that time to put him down. And I believe out there trying to get the number of who switched out on that play.
I think 5 was out there
Actually,
on the coverage.
No, correction. That was Braden Strickland to put it to him down on that one. Pass on the curl, caught at the 10-yard line by McDonald. Breaks a tackle, 5, spins, and is close to the goal line. Left side and scores. McDonald all spinning on that one to keep it going. And he's got it looks like he got 18 yards on the touchdown.
Just like that, Artesia comes down and scores quickly.
As that will make it now 49-20. Don't want to shortchange the Eagles 2 touchdowns there.
And I bet you at this point, the Hobbs Eagles coaches are going to get on that defense if we're not having a lot of passion that last series.
And the kick is going to be up, and it is good. As putting it through the uprights, the receiver/kicker, Braxton McDonald, the one who scored the touchdown. So Artesia tacks some points on with 2:55 remaining, third quarter. Hobbs 49, Artesia 21. Don't leave us. More Hobbs Eagle football coming up on the Hobbs Eagle Network. 30. Well, Artesia does get a touchdown, but they're very much behind in this ball game, 49-21 to the Hobbs Eagles with 2:55 remaining in the third quarter. And Hobbs, strategy-wise, offensively, to keep this momentum going, what do you need to do out there?
You're still at the point where you need to grind it. You need to keep it on the ground. You need to get first downs, 3 yards in a pile of dust football. The clock is so much in your favor right now. That you have to do it. If you don't, you start taking risks and start stopping the clock, you're actually helping them, not helping yourself.
In case you just joined us, Artesia's had 2 fumbles given to the Hobbs Eagles, 2 turnover on downs, a punt, and an interception. So 3 turnovers total as they get ready to kick off for the Eagles.
This will be an onside kick.
49-21. And they fake, and then they do it at the last second. It rolls out of bounds over on the far sideline. That will be a penalty here. But it goes out about the 37, so you really can either do a re-kick or take it where it's at, or the 35, which would be back further than where it is at this point. So
I think you're taking it at the 37.
Looks like the referee's going to move it up to 38 now. Maybe they're going to switch to football. It looks like one guy has it marked one place, and the other ref's going up further. Now they're putting it to 41. Where the heck did that come from?
I guess it went out of bounds and kind of stayed in the air, so it looked like it bounced at the 38, but it's probably out at the 41.
So Hobbs getting great field position on this one after the onside kick attempt.
Oh, so it was from where you said it was out of bounds, then they added the 5 yards penalty. Because the out of bounds, you can move it to the 35, or you can take it from the out of bounds with 5 yards.
Should have been a re-kick with the 5 yards. Okay, 1st and 10, shotgun from the 40. Colton Graham fakes the handoff, rolls around the left. Keeper, 45-50, Artesia territory, and down to the left hash to about the 47-yard line. That's going to be 15 yards, make it 14 again for Colton Graham, as Graham has had all positive yardage tonight in the running game. In fact, 58 yards on 6 carries, and he's had double-digit runs of 20, 17, and 14 on that one.
And this is the way the offense is supposed to look. Everybody's a threat. You don't know who's going to get it, you don't know who's going to run it, you don't know who to guard.
8 first downs now for the Eagles. 1st and 10 from the 46. Receivers 2 left, 1 right. Boy, had a crossover in the backfield, and they hand it off to Lacone at the last second, and he gets up the left hash directly to the 40, gets across to the 39, and that'll pick up an extra, looks like 6 yards on that one.
And there it is, misdirection. You bring one guy across, you may keep it, you may give it to him. Oh, the second guy comes across, you may keep it, you may give it to him. You may keep it as the quarterback. I love it. It's basically just like running the old triple option football, but you're doing it from the gun.
Isaiah Lacone, 7 carries now for 34 yards. Hobbs now with 1:44 left here in the third, up 49-21. Second down and 3. Handoff again, right to left is Frosto. He continues to drag people on his back. He gets enough for the first down, and 6 yards for Frosto. And he's really running like bigger than what he really is out there.
He always does. He's one of those that doesn't mind the contact, and the way he sloughs off the contact when he hits it, he doesn't hit it head on. He takes it with just a shoulder. He takes half a hit instead of a full hit.
So that is the first down, number 9 for Hobbs. They'll have it at the Artesia 34-yard line. And you look at Frosto in terms of his body size, just 5'9", 175. So he's not real tall, but he does got a little bit of muscle down there. That's what gives him that extra push. First and 10 from the 33, shotgun. The split formation, Isaiah Lacone gets around the right end of the 30 and tries to stretch it out a bit, but he's brought down after about, looks like a 4-yard, make it 3-yard pickup.
One thing I loved about Lacone's run right there is right before initial contact, he covered that ball up with 2 arms, kept his feet pumping. He made sure that there wasn't going to be a fumble on the play.
So Isaiah Lacone, after a touchdown earlier in the contest for 17 yards back in the first half, Eagles take a lot more time, as you notice, looking at the sideline, Coach, with 35 seconds left. There's no urgency when you have such a big lead of 28.
Got a score from Portales, Lovington 21, Portales 9. From what I'm understanding, the winner of that's going to be ranked number 1 in the state.
Second down and 6, back to pass. Quick comeback right on the 30-yard line, Trevino. And then Barrows, actually that was Caleb Hedrick. Always gets messed up with those 11s and 14s down there. Very short gain on that play, but he did a good job of getting his body turned to his quarterback to come back, kind of a short little curl that time. So Hedrick will get a 2-yard pickup. He's the only receiver in this game. 5 catches for 64. Not the only receiver, but the only one that's had receptions in the contest. Hobbs now 5 of 9 in this game in the passing department. That's the end of the third quarter, 49-21. Hobbs up by 28. Come back for the finale here on Cool 95.7 and HobbsAmerica.com and live video on YouTube.
Back
30. Welcome back, Watson Field. 49-21 your score with the Eagles on top of the Bulldogs. Fourth quarter getting ready to start here, and it's one of those things. We talk about keeping it on the ground, grinding it out. They just ran off about 4 minutes off the clock there at the end, and they're still pushing. The first down here would really, really go a long way.
So the Hobbs Eagles trying to get their first win of the season against Artesia. Artesia coming off that win against Roswell, their first win last week. That was at their home field, though. Split formation backfield, 3rd down and long 2, and they try to get the offside jump, and they got about 3 on the front line for the orange and white to bite on it, and they come across before the snap. 5-yard penalty, and that will be enough for the first down. So
the old coach in me just loves it when you call freeze. I mean, it's a beautiful play. It works like a charm sometimes, and the Artesia coaches were just yapping at them, getting in their faces, telling them they got to get one last run, one last push. You come out there and freeze them on the first play.
That is the 10th first down. That was a gift aided by the Bulldogs on the penalty, their 10th penalty for 70 yards. First and 10 for the Eagles at the 20. They're going to go with that misdirection. Actually, no, it's going to be taken by Frosto as he gets handed off on that left hash and barrels ahead as he'll get 12 yards. He kind of got tripped up in the last second and stumbled for an extra 2.
Yeah, good run there. Nice big hole. He was actually kind of behind his pulling guard, kind of pushing him along, and nice play there for the Eagles.
Boy, just in the second half alone, a total of, looks like 62 yards for for Frosto. He had -1 in the first half on 1 carry, so big turnaround for him. That'll be the 11th first down. Of course, he had the 22-yard carry here in the second half for the touchdown.
Got a score coming in. Tatum 38, Logan 28, 10 minutes left in the third.
First down and goal for the Eagles. This is their last hurrah in terms of first down, so they better make good use of these that they've got. Split formation backfield, receiver right and left. Up to Frosto up the middle. 10-5, and try to take on 2 more to pull him in, but he gets put down at the 2. So that's an 8-yard pickup for Frosto, and just continues to push himself forward ahead and keep that clock running and getting closer and closer to the end zone.
We're already under 11 minutes here in the fourth quarter.
Kind of getting the Hobbs Eagle fans are kind of quieting down here as they're fat and happy at this point with that big lead. No concession stand, though. But
no
they're fat and
concession
happy.
stand, so they're skinny and happy.
And again, not a lot of urgency on the field right now. The Eagles just running that clock. Put a man in motion, left to right, and I think the slot back that time stepped forward and then try to come back too, which you can't do that. You can't make the forward progress and you have to get reestablished. And so that's going to be a call that they're going to make against Silas Cern, I believe. If that's number 4 that I was seeing, unless that's I missed the number. It might have been Colton. No, Colton Graham's a quarterback. That's not him either. I'm trying to look like a number that was looking the same.
Could have been Frausto's out there, 6.
Yeah. Appeared to be a 4, but maybe it was Frosto.
There's a
5-yard penalty.
There is a
regardless.
4 on the opposite side over there.
There is? Okay.
Yes.
So that, we don't care who it is. I shouldn't be announcing these penalty guys anyway. Parents will get mad at me when I do that. Second down and goal now from the 6. This time they'll go left to right, and they'll hand it off, and it looks like there's going to be a pile-up trying to pull guys with him again, getting towards that 3-yard line.
That was Lacone on the carry. And, you know, that time the pulling guard missed the man on the end, so the defensive end hit Lacone at the line of scrimmage. Lacone just kept getting his feet going, made something out of nothing.
3-yard pickup for Lacone. He's got 40 yards on the ground on 9 carries. Eagles all looking at the sideline to Coach Stevens get the play call. And now they're back up to the line, making Artesia stay on their fat feet, waiting to make some defensive stops. They're going to load up the box, too, with about 6 guys, 7. They're going to crunch that one side. And we got a big pile up at the middle. And there's not going to be much going on there for the Eagles as the big orange crush is up front trying to put the stop on Lacone. I'm not even sure if he did. I think he got back to line of scrimmage, but not much more than that.
And I'm pretty sure Coach is going to go for it here. It's 4th and goal. You're on the 3-yard line.
Not going to punt.
No, you're definitely not going to punt, but, you know, you do have a guy that can hit a field goal from there.
Drop kick it through for 3. Still legal in football, by the way. Colton Graham has a few words for his lineman as he steps up to the line and backs out of the shotgun. He's got 2 blockers back with him, Frosto and Lacone. 1-step drop, pump fake, rolls right, got pressure to the near sideline, throws it on the run, and right near the front pylon right, and just barely misses his receiver. And Easton Kirkendall had some words for the official, thought he was pushed in the back, and it looked like he did have a saddle on him there.
Yeah, unfortunately, even though he was pushed in the back, the ball was thrown kind of out of play. And so I'm sure that if the ball would have been on target, the referee could have called the pass interference there. But with the ball being thrown out of bounds, there's no way that he's going to get that call.
And we got to remember, too, we're not in mercy rule timing anymore. It's a 28 deficit for Artesia, so the clock does not stop, or does stop now on incompletes and change of possession and all that. So Artesia is really getting an advantage out of this.
Yeah, but
they got
not
long,
much.
97 yards to try to score, at least a touchdown.
Yeah.
And field goals aren't going to help at this point.
No, it's not.
Twins left and right. Cox about 2 yards deep in his end zone now on the shotgun. He's going to step up, just give the handoff, draw around the right side, and plows up across to the 9-yard line. 6-yard pickup on the play. And they're taking their time to get back to the huddle. Barrera is the guy with the ball. I haven't heard his name for a long time. He's only had 2 carries in the second half for 9 yards, 92 on the night.
Yeah, and you've done a great job of kind of taking him out of the offense.
Ball's at the 9-yard line. 2nd down and 4. Back to the shotgun is Cox. He wants to pass, 1-step drop. Quick out route, gets deflected off the receiver, and that's Braxton McDonald. He's usually the sure hands guy for this team, but can't come up with it.
That's dangerous. When you have one pop out of the receiver's hands like that, if somebody's back behind there trailing, that's an interception. How big would a Blake Hensley sack be right now?
Well, the guy that could have the INT you just talked about, that would have been Braden Strickland on that far sideline. tasting it right in front of the Artesia bench. But, yeah, the great sack would help too. 3rd down and 4 now from the 9. Shotgun to Cox by himself in the backfield. He's going to throw the curl route. Ball was deflected but picked up in the left hash. Nice job by the receiver to make the catch, even though that was kind of tipped up in the air. It still had a good little velocity on it, and I believe was that Barrera, I think, came out of the backfield. No, that was another player from the backfield. I think that was Rodriguez.
Yeah, Rodriguez.
No, it was Jake Barrera. Sorry.
Yeah. Hensley got his paw up there on it and popped it up, and it went from being a bullet to kind of a flutter.
That was their 15th reception of the ball game. And 19 yards for Barrera in the passing reception department. 4th down and 2 now from the 11-yard line. Trips left for 2 receivers right. There's a fumbled shotgun snap, and somehow Cox picks it up and throws a drill. But it's a low shot about the 17, incomplete. And, boy, Cox just barely got rid of it, but it made a big hole in the ground when he got released.
They were trying to run freeze, and they decided they weren't going to run the play. He looked over to the sidelines, and the punt team come running up the field to get ready to come on the field for the punt. And he was going to call a timeout, and the center snapped it.
Yeah, and it hit off the end of his fingertips going to that right sideline. So,
he was walking. He was going to walk to the sidelines, hit him on the side of the fingers and the face mask, and Hobbs takes over with wonderful, wonderful field position.
That is their 3rd turnover on downs. They've had 3 turnovers regular, 2 fumbles and an interception. Getting back to mercy roll if they can score here. 1st and 10 from the 11. Could get a first at the 1. They'll give a handoff left to right. Thompson around the right end. 10, 5, trying to spin. Continues to pull people. He's going to have a lot of help. His teammates pushing him towards the end zone. He's brought down at the 1-yard line. That's, I think, a first down, too. A 10-yard play for Thompson. He was just a barrel on that one.
It turned into an old football scrum. You had 11 guys on each side of the pile pushing. And unfortunately for us, we were able to win the battle of the bulge there.
That's 12 first downs thanks to a Thompson. And it's 1st and goal now from the right hash 1-yard line. Colton Graham waiting for the shot. Twins left and right. Gives a handoff to Thompson up the gut, and he just uses a couple blockers. Goes in the end zone with his head down, a battering ram, and then there's a flag late after he gets across the goal line. There's some extracurricular activity as we're starting. Oh, there comes flags. We got some personal fouls being issued here.
Got a little bit of emotional play going on now.
But what was the flag for?
I think it was a late hit.
I
think it was a late hit from Artesia.
He already cleared the end zone, and then they shoved him in the back, I think.
Yeah. And then one of the Artesia players is over there trying to fight through the referees to get to the Hobbs Eagles.
So a 1-yard touchdown run. I believe I didn't ever see the actual touchdown signal, but I guess they went ahead and gave it to him.
Yeah, the far referee did signal, but then he had to reach for his flag quickly, so he dropped his hands.
The question is whether they also called a foul on the Eagles, whether that's going to just negate, and whether that'll determine whether that gets moved up or down on the kickoff. But let's see what the officials got on this one. I think you're right about the unnecessary roughness or late hit.
What's the second one, though? They threw a second flag
it's
after
a personal. There was some type of extracurricular personal foul for unsportsmanlike or something. Personal foul. That's what I was worried about. Eagles got one, and Artesia got one, too. Touchdown's good. What happened to the first flag, though?
So I guess the first flag was on them, and the second flag was on us. And he just didn't give it to us in that order.
And he didn't explain the personal foul was on the actual drive.
Which was why the Artesia player was mad and trying to go after us, because they had just probably done the second one on him.
So that is a touchdown regardless. The important part, kick is up and looks like good for Van Landingham. It is. So the Hobbs Eagles get it back to a mercy rule timing situation with 6:52 remaining. They lead 56-21, 35-point lead. I can't remember the last time Hobbs had 56 points on the scoreboard. Pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's the way it's supposed to be. And we talked about it all season, that all they needed was everything to come together. They were able to move the ball in spurts, but they were just, the turnovers were killing them, mental mistakes were killing them, and now they finally put it all together, and now you're seeing what Hobbs football can really be.
We'll keep it right here, Watson Stadium. Next week, we're not sure about what the situation will be with the playoffs, if they're going to really have them next week or not. It is Good Friday and also Easter weekend, so big question mark there. A bunch of teams haven't even got to their fourth game yet. Albuquerque's going to game 2 this week. I think Roswell's a game behind. They started a week late also, so it's kind of up in the air. I keep hearing rumors that we might just stick with other division teams around the area. Roswell's name popped up today when I was talking to some people in the know, so I'm not sure how they're going to do that. Roswell's still a week behind too, so that's kind of a question. I don't know.
I can guarantee one thing out of all this. There's going to be people unhappy. that you're not going to make everybody happy.
There's going to be no championship game. I know that for sure. Because how are you going to do that when
they were going to seed a 1 and 2 team?
Yeah, but I think they've gone away with that because the problem is how do you decide who's? You just put the undefeated teams. They might not be the best team. They might be in a real easy district too.
Sure.
You never know. Onside kick takes a bounce. Eagles get some trickery going. Picked up by Barrera on the right hash 30, 35 angling right, and short of the 40 by about a couple of yards as he gets towards the Artesia sideline. Again, we got a mercy rule going on here, which means the clock will run, which definitely helps out fans. They're getting tired of waiting for this big W. It's been pretty much in the books since about midway through the third quarter, Coach.
I have to tell you, you think it's later than it is. It's only 9-12. This next game has gone pretty fast for an Artesia game.
And we've had quite a few penalties, though. It kind of trailed off a little bit until that big mess down there at the touchdown.
But quite often, Artesia Hobbs games lasted at midnight.
Well, because you got the incomplete passes and you got the not the mercy rule, but
Yeah.
1st and 10 for the Bulldogs at their own 37. Again, they trail Hobbs 56-21 with 6:44 left in the game. Twins right and left, man in motion right to left, back to pass. Cox, he's going to sail it down the middle of the field on the seam route over the shoulder and stride for stride, but 5 yards ahead of the intended receiver. Trying to get to it was Jacob Creighton, but he had kind of a sandwich defense on him there with those secondaries for the Eagles.
Yeah, and had that been thrown on target, that could have been an interception.
Guys back deep for Hobbs, that going stride for stride as well. Hunter Wright and Presley Greeno. So give them a little credit there. Would have been pretty hard to catch it. He did have his hands stretched out between him about a yard ahead of those two defenders, but that ball was still far ahead.
Yeah.
So incomplete for the Bulldogs. 2nd down and 10 now from the 40. And they didn't forget to change the yard marker there, too, on that other sideline. Twins left and right. Shotgun low for Cox at the 30. He'll fire the out route. Caught at the 43. Breaks a tackle at the 45, but he did step out of bounds. That's going to be about a 7-yard pickup on that far sideline. And McDonald finally gets one. It's been a long time since his name has come up. He's got 6 catches now for 44 yards.
No, but they finally got the marker over to 3rd down.
3rd down and 4 now from the 43. Twins left and right. Colton Graham. Cox gets the shotgun, throws the slant route. It's a kind of a wobbler, and then a tumbling attempt at a catch at the 50, but not coming up with it is Barrera. And I think, he was already in the somersault before the ball came to his zone.
and the throw was so low, he didn't really have a chance to make a play on it at all.
TJ running some quick plays here. Now they're facing a 4th down, 3.5. So very big play call here with the 43-yard line. Shotgun to himself. Cox, quarterback keeper up the gut, right hash, 50, and he's there for the 1st down. 7 yards for the quarterback Cox.
But the clock keeps moving. So at this point, the chains move, but clock's winding down. We're at 5 minutes now, so
13,
it's about to happen.
13 first downs, only a 2nd carry in the second half for 27 total yards. Shotgun, 1st and 10 from the 50. Pump fake, rolling left to the left hash goes Cox back at the 40, throws on the back foot and is throwing it low. And they're going to say a pass interference, diving over the top, the Eagle defender on that left hash. And that was Aldo Argot, the linebacker, as he looked like he has a halter top on top of Barrera that time, was trying to come back for the ball.
Yeah, you tried to come over and basically knock it down, but didn't really have a good angle on it and had to get into the body. That's the pass interference.
Well, actually called holding. They said the ball wasn't in the air yet. It looked like it was there, but 10-yard penalty instead. Just the 8th penalty now for 70 yards total for the Eagles. They've only had 3 penalties here in the second half.
And the fans have got something weird going on. Both sides are turning on the lights on their phone and they're waving back and forth at each other from some side to side. It's really strange.
4:35 remaining, 56-21 Eagles. 1st and 10 from the 40. Now Artesia with 14 first downs. Shotgun back to Cox, Twins left and right. He wants to fire that fade to the far sideline right, over the shoulder, 2 yards deep into the end zone, stretching his arms out but not getting there in time. For Artesia was Jacob Creighton. And, boy, he had a little bit of a distance between him and his defender on that far side.
And you know what? At the end, Braden Strickland was able to close that distance down, got into his hip pocket. It would have been a jump ball had the ball got delivered on time.
Boy, going back to the huddle and yelling at his teammates, Jacob Creighton, he was not happy about something. Maybe he's mad at the referee, but there was no contact made at all. Maybe just the pass a little bit shorter, he would have had a TD.
There's a little bump there right at the end, but not enough to make a call on.
That would have been a 40-yard touchdown. Going in motion is Barrera from left to right. Fake to hand out, back to pass. He'll dump a screen over to Barrera, but he hears footsteps coming at him, and Strickland was tiptoeing, ready to get that helmet down, and Barrera said not having any of it, put his hands back toward his helmet and let it go by.
Yeah, at that point, the quarterback, you're right, he heard footsteps, and then he felt them as they Both put helmets on him, took him down.
Barrera was kind of heading out towards his right sideline, and coach is actually pulling him, I believe, now, and didn't like his lack of effort on that attempt to make a catch. Third down for the Bulldogs at their Eagle 40-yard line. It'll be by himself as Cox. Trips right, Twins left, high snap, two-step drop. He's going to fire down the middle. Caught at the 15, hits a big wall, but he's going to get dropped to the 10 for the first down. So that's going to be a 20, 30-yard pickup. And that's Farrar's big catch there.
And they did, what they had to do. Hobbs made the stop, put a big lick on him. Still a first down for Artesia.
So 30 yards. That will be 17 receptions for the Bulldogs. First and 10 from the 11. Another play up the middle on the pass as the catch is made right to the goal line that time.
And that was Barrera.
Yeah, Barrera with a good snag. And I believe that's for 12. So Barrera now back-to-back receptions for these Bulldogs.
So first and goal here. I mean, at this point, it's neither here nor there. We're down to 2 minutes left in the game.
Clock will run continuously here with 2:23 left. A handoff up the gut. Wait for the signal close to the goal line. I don't think he made it. Nope.
Yeah, they gave him a touchdown.
Oh, they did. Boy, late signal there.
Far side referee called it. They just didn't keep their hands in the air.
And I believe the ball carrier for Artesia that time was Jake Barrera once again for about a yard for the touchdown. That was his first rushing touchdown of the ball game, Coach.
Wow.
And now they're going to do the swinging gate. They try to throw a pass on the left side where the big wall was for Artesia. Making the catch. False start, though, as making the catch was Jake Barrera coming out of the backfield, but somebody must have jumped on that left side and was all loaded up, about 6 or 7 players in that swinging gate.
How come we can't just call that a play on a false start like we did last week?
Now they're going to set up like they're going to kick here from the 15. And we're going to see, I guess they are going to kick it this time. It's getting set up as Braxton McDonald. 2:18 remaining here in the fourth, 56-27. No, it's a fake. They flip it out to McDonald. He fumbled it off his knee. It rolls toward the far sideline. Eagles can't return it. This isn't the NCAA, but it goes out of bounds anyway.
And it wasn't an intentional fake. The ball bounced about a foot and a half in front of the holder.
But it went right to him.
Oh, and it bounced right up into his hands.
Australian rules football. That's what I thought I was watching for a minute there. We are going to take a break with 2:18 left here in the fourth. Hobbs up by 29, 56-27 over Artesia.
$60. Welcome back. 56-27, your score. Hobbs leads as the game is almost over here. Onside kick comes across the field for Artesia. It's going to go out of bounds, but a very dangerous play there. Ty, they almost recovered.
Manny Valdivia was the one that tried to get his hands on it, kind of pushed it with both hands at the 30, flipped over his head and rolled toward the out of bounds at the 28 or so, depending on where they're marking it. Kick from Braxton McDonald, the guy that had a touchdown earlier. He's also the receiver for the Bulldogs. Hobbs has a couple of minutes left, 2:10 remaining. Whoa, did he look like he was the one that touched it?
No, it bounced over his hands.
Oh,
he had
his
jump
hands kind of volleyballing, it looked like, but I guess it just barely missed his outstretched hands. And Hobbs is going to go ahead and take it at the 35. That is their option, so they will take it there and get it on the left hash. I'm sure they're just going to get this clock run out the best they can. It's not mercy rule now, 29-point lead. Got to be 35 for it to continually run. But they can just do that by couple run plays to keep this thing moving. They got to do maybe some pass to get that first down, though. But Twins left and right. Shotgun to Colton Graham. Gives the handoff. Angle right. And to the middle of the field, the big rugby scrum coming now. Maybe a yard pickup, if that, because there's a bunch of orange that we're expecting them to grind this out to run the game out.
And they're still in the third quarter. Lovington 21, Portales 14. That's becoming a game.
I think we had a new ball carrier in there that time. That was Christian Pennybaker, I believe. That's number 20 that I'm seeing on my – yep, that is him. That's his first run, so that's a 1-yard gain for him. Welcome to the Eagles.
And at this point, you're just trying to get some people in that may not have seen time and let them have a couple of options.
So 2nd down and 9. Pennybaker is a senior, though. 2nd down and 9 as they give the handoff up the middle, and then cutting left to the 40, 45, back to the middle, right to the Hobbs Eagle logo. That's going to be a 12-yard gain for the Eagles.
And that's Pennybaker again.
Yeah, so he's wanting to show coach, and he deserves a starting position. That's the 13th first down, and Pennybaker now 2 carries for 13 yards. That'll be marked up to the 47.5-yard line of the Eagles as they look to the sideline with 1 minute remaining here in the fourth quarter and getting their first regular season win and right before the playoffs, Coach.
And, they're having fun on the sidelines. They're over whooping it up and down and dancing, and they're enjoying this win.
Colton Graham now back in the shotgun. He's going to give it off from left to right, coming around the end, stretching it to the near sideline is Salas Cerna. He gets across the 50, continues to get a plow to help him out from behind and into Artesia territory. He's going to get 7 on that one.
And a good run. Tough run right there. Kid showing a little bit of hard-nosed football.
Uh-oh, we got a holding penalty, though. So 10-yard penalty against the Eagles. And that will be the 9th penalty of the ball game for 80 yards.
37 seconds left here. At this point, we're just going to grind it out. I think they can't stop the clock anymore.
Yeah, back it up to the 34. Clock down to 35 and ticking, as you mentioned. 56-27.
We don't even have to snap it at this time.
29-point lead for the Hobbs Eagles. They will go to 1-3 on the season and wait to see what happens with the playoff situation. Twins left and right. Colton Graham with the shotgun. Give the handoff to Pennybaker. Dancing off to the left side, trying to drag one more with him. And finally bringing him down for the Bulldogs was Jonathan Beatty. That is going to be the last play as the Hobbs Eagles on the sideline got their arms whooping up in the air, trying to get the Eagle fans involved in this one. As they know that this game is in the books. And there's this cannon to fire off as we're at the end here at Watson Stadium. This could be the final game of the regular season. It is the final game of the regular season, but could be the last home game of this 2021 crazy spring season. We'll have to wait and see what the playoffs hold for next week. 56-27, the Eagles defeat Artesia to go to 1-3. The Bulldogs with their last loss of the season on the regular side. We'll take a 3-minute break and come back with the Hobbs Eagle postgame show on Cool 95.7, HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube, and the Cool 95.7 app.
Add more 30s to it. One more.
One more 30.
One more 30.
Welcome back to Watson Stadium. 56-27, your Hobbs Eagles have vanquished the Artesia Bulldogs, and in an elegant style too. It was nice to have the clock running away with 35-point lead a couple of times, and it was a nice win for the Eagles, Ty.
Yeah, it was. Of course, the Eagles had a mercy roll much of that fourth quarter and part of the third as well, so they definitely put it all on here at Watson Stadium to get that first win regular season. And that might actually give them a better opportunity to get a better game. I don't know how they're going to do it next week at the playoffs or the bowl games, but that could possibly get them in a different bracket of what they might have had before. So we have no idea what all the criteria is going to be for matching teams up. There's so many different squads that are still in their first and second weeks of action up in Albuquerque, and Roswell was even a week behind us. So I don't know how they're going to match those teams up. I mean, some teams still got to have a regular season game or maybe two more games before we get to that point.
You know, the sad thing about all this to me is that you're seeing a team that's really coming together. And had we done this in the fall and had we played a full season, you would see a team that's starting to reach its form at midseason, a team that could make a nice damaging run in the playoffs had it found itself. And it's kind of a sad thing that we've played it this way, and we don't get an opportunity to see what would have become of this team if they had a full season to come together.
And so many close games, too. I mean, we saw everything was very close in terms of like one scoring opportunity. All three games before this one were that way. Clovis, Lovington, Carlsbad.
And there was always just one little thing or two little things, mistakes that bit them in the rear. And now that you've gotten rid of that, you've shown that you're pretty dangerous team.
And I think the best part about this is normally you expect the Artesia squad, I've said this numerous times tonight, the Artesia squad is the type that's going to take advantage of turnovers and get those points that come off of those. But tonight, whole different story. Eagles causing 3 turnovers, 2 fumbles, an interception, 3 turnovers on downs, which you could almost consider that just the turnover itself. That'd be 6, and then a punt. So Artesia really trying to dig out of a hole the whole night.
You got to give a credit to the Hobbs defense for creating a lot of those turnovers too.
Definitely the point there. Let's take a look at some of the numbers, first of all, for Artesia. They only had 2 guys that actually ran the ball tonight. They included the quarterback, that's Cox, 10 carries for 27. And then Barrera, who really had a quiet second half, he ended up with 17 carries for 93 yards. He had 83 at halftime, so only added 3 carries for 10 in the second half, including the last run for him was a 1-yard touchdown that he ran up for a yard. So that kind of says, I don't know what the game plan, how it changed. He did have to pass a little bit more to get it upfield, but again, rushing game kind of changed, especially when you compare that to last week. We talked about this already. where they racked up over 300 yards rushing, and he had, I think, 3 touchdowns last week in their win over Roswell. So definitely a big difference between that week and this week.
Hobbs' defense has been stingy against the run all year long, so I think that pattern continued, and at that point where we started to get a lead, Artesia just abandoned it completely and just started throwing the ball around.
Actually, let me go back on that, too. He had 180 yards as just an individual last week, 22 carries and 3 touchdowns against the Coyotes. So big difference with the Hobbs D tonight shutting him down, especially in the second half. A lot of receivers did get involved in this game. There were 6 of them for Artesia. Just going down the numbers as we look at it, Farrar had a catch for 30 yards. Creighton a catch for 46, almost had another touchdown, but it was just through his hands near 2 yards into the end zone, so he was licking his chops, but didn't get the score on that one. McDonald, a quiet night, just 6 catches for 44. He's had some great games this season, and their best receiver, in fact, he had, up to this game, 25 catches for 307 yards and 5 touchdowns, and tonight McDonald scores 1 TD from 18 yards, but that's about it, but 44 in the air for him. Knowlton had a catch for 6 yards, Rodriguez 4 for 35. A couple other guys did get some in the end zone tonight. Corbin Farrar. Actually, Farrar had 2 catches for 37. I had him down for 30 before, but it's 37. And last but not least, the running back, Barrera, had 4 catches for 31 yards. In terms of passing itself for the team, Artesia was 17 of 34 in this ball game. They had 14 first downs. Penalties 11 for 75. So a total of 120 yards in the rushing game, 199 in the pass for 319 tonight. So there's where the numbers stand. Last week they actually had a lot more rushing yards than they did passing yards, but tonight goes back to the passing game. But the Eagles still get the big win regardless on that.
You know, a lot of it comes down to habits and patterns. That was one thing that the coaching staff had talked about before the game, is that they had a good feel for the patterns of the Artesia offense, and it obviously showed. It seemed like we called the right defense quite often.
Hobbs Eagles on the other side of the coin with the victory tonight. Again, final score in this big win for Hobbs. Mercy rolled through much of it, and then just kind of the finishing touches there at the end. Final was 56-27. Eagles had Frosto with 7 carries for 66 yards and a 22-yard run in the second half for a touchdown. Colton Graham, the quarterback, 6 carries for 58. He scored off a 1-yard run for a TD. Trevino, touchdown run for 9 yards. That was his only actual rush in the game. Lee Cone, 10 carries for 40 yards, including a 17-yarder for a touchdown in the first half. Thompson had 5 carries for 30 yards, including a 1-yard touchdown run. And Pennybaker came in late in the fourth quarter for 3 carries for 15 yards, including a 12-yard double-digit run. So he was pretty excited there at the end. So 6 different rushers in this ball game for the Hobbs Eagles, 218 yards on the ground. And that's one thing we're seeing this year, is more of an emphasis on the running game and try to make defenses kind of second-guess what the call is going to be.
And more importantly, they took advantage of the moment. And when I say that, when the turnovers occurred, we were able to push it in and score off of those turnovers. We were very good in the short field, and those turned into points for us.
Passing game, just a kind of a one-man show tonight, and that was Hedrick. He had all 5 receptions the Eagles had, 64 yards in this ball game, including that big 48-yarder in the first half. So he was all the numbers for the passing game. Hobbs was 5 of 10 tonight, and again 5 of 10 for Hedrick. Now he wasn't the one that dropped the other 5. There was a couple other guys that were thrown to, but he was the man when it came to the passing game. So 218 in the rush, 64 in the pass for 282. Technically that's less than Artesia, 319 to 282. These are all, these aren't all by the book here, so they're just estimates, and some not estimates, but not the exact numbers. I'm sure that.
And the reason why? They kept giving us the short field. We
Correct.
didn't have a whole field to march down. They kept having to work the long field. We had the short field. That's why. Yeah,
and of course we mentioned the 2 fumbles, the interception, and that bobbled punt that went off somebody's foot and rolled out to the sideline. Hobbs got it back, and they was at the 20 or so yard line at that point. And that was a scoring drive that put the icing on the cake at one point. Hobbs, in terms of their first downs, they had 13, and we're also a 9 of 80 in the penalties tonight too. So. Things looking good for the Hobbs Eagles. Then they had 6 guys carrying the football tonight at different times. 1 receiver is all they needed to put some more numbers up on the screen there. But at the same time, what a big win. I mean, when was the last time that the Eagles were able to put that many points on the scoreboard as they did tonight, 56?
Back in the Hardison days.
Yep. Yeah. Gavin Hardison, definitely the man. Of course, playing for your alma mater there at UTEP. And,
I was not a UTEP grad. No, I worked for him.
You worked for him, okay. Well, you're not going to take credit for the minors.
No, I won't take credit for the minors, even though go Miners.
And Gavin Hardison, of course, a Hobbs Eagle product, definitely one of the best at the quarterback position. So, again, final score, 56-27. If you take a look at the scoring throughout this ball game, Hobbs had the first 2 touchdowns in the first quarter. Trevino and also Lacone was another score there from a 17-yard run. Trevino had a 9-yard run, 14-0 into the first. Second quarter, I was going to say Arkansas. Artesia gets Cox with a 2-yard run, made it 14-7. Hobbs answers with Trevino again, his second touchdown, this one for 75 yards, 21-7. Artesia returns again. Cox a 2-yard run, his second TD of the second quarter, 21-14. Hobbs gets a 48-yard pass to Hedrick to make it 27-14 after a missed PAT. It was all Hobbs after that. The next 4 touchdowns, third quarter into the fourth quarter. Trevino for 92. Frosto for 22 on both runs, and then a run by the Eagles as well with 4:07 remaining in that third quarter to put the put the icing on the cake, as we keep saying, and that was Graham making the 1-yard run there. And then finally Thompson with 6:52 left in the fourth quarter with a 1-yard run for the touchdown. Barrera scored for Artesia, and then the final nail in the coffin was the 18-yard pass. Or not from nail in the coffin, it was Artesia with an 18-yard pass to McDonald for their last 2 touchdowns. But still, this game was well in hand midway through the third quarter to get that first regular season win before we go to the bowl game situation.
And on a side note, I want to say that when we finish this broadcast, you need to check out our sister station. They got a barn burner going on. Lovington and Portales are in the fourth quarter. It's a 7-point ball game. Lovington just come down with a chance to score, got an INT into the end zone, trying to go up 2 touchdowns. And they're both playing for number 1 in the state, so that might be one to catch before you get home.
Yeah, Portales 3-0, Lovington 2-1. So that's a pivotal game, as you mentioned, especially with the district going on there too. Next week, we're not sure if there's going to be a game next week. It is a Good Friday, and then Sunday is Easter. A lot of people get it, and I know the Hobbs School District on a 3-day weekend with Monday, or actually 4-day weekend. What am I saying there? So that's going to kind of change complexion. I don't know how they're going to handle that with all these different teams up north, especially Albuquerque area, not in second week this season coming up this week. So they're going to have 2 more regular season games, if they're going to let them have those. I don't know how they're going to do it, other than maybe just the teams in the South and maybe the rest of the state that have already played 4 games, they'll start doling out. We don't know if it's based on records. We do know they're trying to keep travel to a minimum. I've heard rumors about Roswell, and those are a different division team there, so a big question mark. Not really anything out in the guidelines yet on that. NMAA will make a decision here pretty soon, and we'll find out what the situation is. Of course, we will have that game just like we always do.
Yeah, who knows? As long as we're not playing Eunice, right? I can see them doing that even.
By the way, basketball is getting going tomorrow, 6 o'clock, Hobbs JV at Tasker Arena. Tuesday, we got double headers going on with the boys and girls hosting Artesia, 5:30 and 7 at Tasker. They'll have JV games at the freshman school on Tuesday. We should also mention the Hobbs Lady Eagles on the road tomorrow to open up their season. They got Moriarty and Rio Doso, and then we'll have that coverage on No Mark Broadcasting as well, so you can catch that on YouTube. And I'm not sure if that's got radio coverage tomorrow, but and so many other sports. Hobbs girls soccer tomorrow. They were going to have volleyball, but that got moved to today, so that's not going to be on tomorrow. But just so much going on. We just want to remind you, as you mentioned, KZOR has got the Lovington Portales game, 94.1 going on right now. That should be final pretty quickly, but that's a very tough game for maybe possibly number 1 in the state, as you just mentioned. Final score here tonight at Watson Stadium, 56-27. The Eagles get their win on the regular season, and they're waiting to see what their bowl game prognosis is next week with the victory over Artesia. Any more final comments, Brian, before we say
no, sir. What a big win, big win. Kids are probably in the locker room celebrating. Can't wait to see smiles on their faces.
Thanks to Ron Gunner back at the station, so we hopefully will see you for more either Hobbs basketball Tuesday, which I hope we'll see most of you, and radio tomorrow with the Hobbs girls, and then hopefully next week, maybe Friday or Saturday for football. If not, the next week, who knows? We'll wait and see. Have a great rest of a weekend out there as the lights go out here at Watson Stadium.
Okay, broadcast